interception. Relocation.
What a remarkable drive, man. That's an all-American drive right here.
It's not exactly unwarranted. Like, when you have a guy that's that electric.
The legend himself, the GOAT, Dre Crowell.
Where my warm bottle movement at?
That kills your argument right there. Anything can happen. This game is not over.
What's good, Relocation Football League fans? It's your boy, Smitty, RFL Commissioner and play-by-play commentator here with the weekly podcast. And, of course, it's the final one to recap the final games that we had to close out the regular season. I got my man Bill and Rob here with me. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good, man.
I'm glad to have both of you guys on here, man. Know it's been a little bit of a while. Once again, shout out on that promotion, Rob. But let's go ahead and dive right into this, talking about the past week that we just had to close out the week, as we started out with Coach Rogier's final game, and he was able to get the win at home. Finally was able to throw in Trey Mason III, and we could see a noticeable difference in that offense. Still was a close game, but the Lancers managed to pull out final score 23-17.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, it was a nice way to finish the season, and it was nice to see the offense, have a nice rhythm going, and you could tell a difference with Mason in under control, under center. It just, everything seemed to click a little bit better. NO3 went off. Joe Johnson was making plays. I think they jumped out to like a 20-3 lead at one point. They were just playing really, really well. And we've talked about it before, and I'll say it again. It's just unfortunate because who knows where this team could have been right now if Mason was the guy under center. Like, yes, his completions were down when the initial decision was made, but I think that's been a league-wide issue. That's not really just been a Trey Mason issue, and I think, who knows? What could have been? They could have rattled off a couple more wins, and it could have been a whole different story from this year. But it was good to see Mason get out there again and really play well, because this Wizards defense is not a joke, and he still played pretty good. Didn't have any touchdowns, but it just felt like the team as a whole played different with him in there, and that was good to see.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I might have the same exact sentiment as Bill has just about the entire Lancer situation. With respect to Coach Noah Razier, he made decisions based off of what he thought, was good for his team at the time, and he'll live with that, as he continues on in the RFL. With that said, man, it was just really good to see NO3 back in action, man. Like, I feel like NO3 is somebody, a couple of seasons ago. I'm sorry if I overstep here, but I thought he was a league leading rusher 3 years ago, Smitty. Could be wrong, or maybe not league leading, but he was up there.
He was up there. Yeah.
And it was kind of just interesting, with the whole Gary decision. And you're not going to say we've seen a decline in NO3, but you can actually say that, and so we know that NO3 is not just an average back. We know what he's capable of. 184 is just nothing to a guy like NO3, and so it was just really good just to see him in and out of there. 24 carries and 2 touchdowns. Great job by the Lancers in Week 17.
Yeah, and just to speak more on NL3, if I'm not mistaken, because of his big game that he had here to finish out the season, he was able to reach over 1,000 yards rushing. Still a guy who really just fought for that spot to get back to where he originally was after the signing of Gary. Gary was not, I believe he was either benched or he still was injured. Not sure what happened with him, but really fell off during the season. Probably just was not given the opportunities as they really handed off more of those touches to NO3. But like you said, really looked like himself here. Tore it up on the ground. Offense was moving smoothly with Trey Mason. Big plays all over the place, but still, of course, not the production in terms of like blowing the team out as you want to see. But like we already know, the Wizards defense is great. What we know about the Wizards after this loss is that they will be getting themselves a first-round pick, the first pick for the draft. And so that's a great thing for them. I know Coach Romo is going to be excited to see, what he's going to be able to grab out of this upcoming draft with the amount of talent that we got, and as big as this class is that's coming in. And that's pretty much all I could say here. Wizards, rough season. They'll bounce back. And as for the Lancers, way to send out Coach Rozier with a good win. Moving on to the next game. It was the Battle of London rivalry and an important game that the Black Knights had to win. They lost the week before. If they lost this, they would have been out of the playoffs. We now know they are in, as they were able to beat the Bulldogs and still a bit of a fight here, but a good one for the Black Knights, 29-14.
Yeah, they needed to win, and they came in and they took it, man. It was a great way for the finish the game. Cloud was feeling it, and like I've said before, when Cloud is feeling it, it just seems like it really lets Holden Wolf do what he needs to do. And anytime you're a veteran quarterback and you maybe have your best years behind you, it's good to have some assistance out there. And the defense has been playing really well. And I think did I see this stat wrong, man? Did Lunsford really have 8 sacks?
He had
Yeah.
7.5. Yeah, pretty
7.5.
much 8.
We'll
but yeah.
give him the 8, man. We'll give him the 8. What a performance with that guy. I mean, my gosh. And we've been seeing it out of the Black Knights, but one thing I've noticed, like, over the weeks, it's not always just one player. They have so many guys that can overtake a game defensively for them that, this is a really good unit. They're going to be making some noise for sure. And the one thing I can say, though, about the Bulldogs, it's actually rather impressed with Tyler Miller a little bit. He didn't have the most flashiest of days, but I feel like he's had some better days than what we've seen out of some of the other London Bulldog quarterbacks this year to some degree. And he also had to run away from Lunsford how many times. So I was a little surprised by that. I thought he played really well, but yeah, excellent game for the Black Knights, man. Way to finish off the season.
Yeah, man, it was a great game as well. Obviously, I know Tyler Miller may not think so, but I thought he played pretty good for most of the game. He just got thrown into the water there on a day where the Black Knights defense is really turned up. And he's a tough kid, man. I believe he's from Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, the Oklahoma boy showing, hey, I could take hits and keep it packing, man, keep it trooping. And so he while he didn't look bad. He wasn't perfect, but at the same time, I get it. It's week 17. This is a game that the Black Knights must have. Bulldogs obviously would have probably liked to have the win, but really not mandatory for them as well. So, again, man, as Bill said, a great job by the Black Knights. And obviously Calvin Lunsford, man, that's absolutely amazing. You can see the numbers with Langford Cloud as well. Had a really great day on the ground. We just saw, Holden Wolf. This is not the best performance by Holden Wolf either. Like, you see 29 points on the board and, you think, okay, it's all right. But it's really not the best day for the veteran QB. But at the same time, a win is a win, and you get it how you can get it here in the new RFL. And so just hats off to the Black Knights and hats off to them for the bid.
Yeah, just talk more about, Tyler Miller. This was a guy I can remember. He was in the first ever college series playing for Oklahoma, and I know you remember this, Rob. First game of the season against Ohio State, they get absolutely smacked, and Miller just was not a good quarterback, to be honest, in the college series. Obviously, a lot of bad games for him. Really was no bright spots. We saw that. Got drafted by the Black Knights and was cut during the preseason, and it's a great thing to be able to get on a team that you're going to play against your old team. Yeah, he was drafted by the Black Knights. They cut him. The Bulldogs end up picking him up, so he gets to stay in London and everything. Gets to play the final game against them, and I am impressed by what he was able to do. Like Rob said, not the flashiest of games by any means, but for a rookie to come in, a guy who's been cut from his former team, a guy chasing him down, 7.5 sacks in the game, to go 24 of 35, 227 yards in the touchdown, and no interceptions. That was great. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think, well, he did fumble the ball. Let me not say that. He did fumble the ball a little bit. But he still had himself a really solid game. And that's the plus you could say about the Bulldogs. And I won't take anything away from the Bulldogs in this game either, because they sat their starters for the most part. And you got to look at the prior weeks before then, where they played against their other two division rivals in the Sentinels and the Celtic Tigers, and were able to pull off upsets in both of those games. So they kind of chilled out, see what they had for the future coming into this game, and they still put up a decent little fight here. Really got that last score towards the end, but Black Knights just came in here, handled business, and did what they were supposed to do.
Two things just want to add real quick. One, I seriously want to see Tyler Miller with the starters in preseason. I'm not sure if that's a thing Coach will do next season, but I'd like to see him with some weapons and see what he do, because he actually was playing very good with the second unit, I thought. And then the other thing I was going to say is that, he was actually sacked 11 times in that game. So and 8 of those came from Lunsford. But yeah, man, that's still that's still a decent stat line right there to be sacked that many times in the game and not have any interceptions. Wow.
Yeah,
Plus, no run game to support him either.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That Cage getting shut down in that one, and just even, that just livens up that quarterback controversy even more. I mean, I don't see Tyler Miller being a guy, at all.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, of
but at
course
the
not,
end of
yeah.
the day, we got 3 guys who actually put on a show potential. You still have Timmy Merritt, excuse me, called him old Timothy. Timmy Merritt still could be different next year. You never know. Dre Lawson, outstanding year for filling in, and then Miller coming in. We don't know what's going to happen there. Do these guys really even need a quarterback out the draft? We don't know, but we'll find out. They pushed themselves away from an early draft pick now with those wins, but it's great to see fight in a team that guys thought was just horrible this year, and that just wasn't the case. A lot of close games that they were able to pull out of, showing the dog and the bulldog, man. And so congratulations to Coach Reed for doing the best he could this year, and shout out to Coach Carter for making it in the playoffs with this win. That was a big win. Got the job done. Moving
guys.
on.
You could say that the Black Knights really had Vic caged in all game long.
Should we play the bell or give a? Okay, we'll go with that with Rob. Rob will be the guy for that.
Dude, Florida, where are you at? I know you appreciate it.
It was a good try, Bill.
That was a great try. That was a great.
I'll give you the great try. I give you the great try. Moving on to the next game, though, a huge game that really has some implications. Like, we thought that it was a shoo-in for the Elks to win. Actually, it ended up being the case, so we were right about that. But then we really didn't know that they were going to be facing a division opponent or pay attention to that at the end of the season, and they could have been knocked out. And the Condors actually were able to beat them here, 24-20. Really, nothing too much to say about this except for just Condors once again showing up out of nowhere and upsetting guys.
Yeah, the Condors always seem to do this. They can't do this enough to like make themselves successful for the season, but they can do it just to mess with everybody else. It's like they're just it's like the Sacramento Trolls or something, because they don't do it just for positioning. They just do it just to mess everybody else's seasons up. But regardless of the whole, they should have thought this, they should have thought that. I just feel like there should have been. This is a game that the Elks should have won regardless. I've been critical of the Elks so far this year, and I know that some people don't like it, but the last drive, I think it was, that the Elks had, there was a spot where they needed to tie the game. It was 24-17, and instead of being really aggressive and going for it, I think they ended up doing like some outlet passing, and on third down they did it like one of those throw it to the running back as he runs out of bounds things, and had to settle for a field goal. Those are just kind of things that it's like, you need to make those plays, especially against a team that is historically known to not have a very good defense. So I'm really hoping that they get that right. I did like what Martin was able to do. I love when Martin's able to get into a groove and make plays. They had to rob him of that 1 yard though, just to not get 100. But I think without that issue of not understanding of the layout, maybe the Elks go ahead and win this game for sure. But it's not like, did they sit people?
No.
And that's sort of what I'm thinking, because I just feel like the Elks are a much better team than the Condors, and I know the Condors do this, but everything on the line technically. I mean, I was just hoping for a bigger day out of the Elks a little bit, but you're going to have those kind of games, and luckily it didn't affect them too much.
Yeah, to me, this is a rather obviously an evenly close matchup. It's kind of interesting because the records, you see the 11-5, and you would think that the Elks would be a lot more imposing against a team that was came into this game at 6-8 or 6-9. So just to see, obviously, just to see the game, and you would think, okay, well, the Elks should have this in the bag, and that's just kind of hardly not the case ever in the RFL, but also just not the case when teams like this get together. Where the Elks are a good team. They still have some things that they're working on, and who knows? I'm not sure if Fisher is he signed the contract. Not sure if he's going to be that guy forever or what. I don't know what's going to happen with this team. But we do know that the Elks under the previous coach were up to something, and And so, we'll see if this is going to continue to be, a serious team, obviously in the playoff and then next season. When you look at the Condors, though, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Condors. When you look at them on paper, these guys look pretty fantastic. What you don't see here on the stats is they got a big receiver named Kalkrick, who had a pretty decent day and a couple of touchdowns. And it's interesting when you're looking at the Condors and you're wondering, like, I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I'm perplexed that they're 7-9 on the season. And I don't think that they have. I really don't think the Condors have. And technically, it looks like the Pioneers were better than them this season. And that may just be that may just be, I guess, the level of talent that stepped up in the NRC this year. But I'm really kind of worried a little bit about what's going to happen with the Condors. Is there some change that needs to come about with this team? I'm not going to start blaming Chase McCoy. Definitely not at all. But I want to know, what's really going on with the Condors. This is a team that definitely shouldn't be 7-9. That's all I'm going to say there.
Yeah, and I think the clear question and problem is problem is for the Condors is the defense. They have the offensive weapons. The only thing I can say about the offense is inconsistency sometimes with the run game, because Boogie Johnson, he just isn't a do-it-all back. He had some pretty good average here, but he's just not one of those guys you're going to hand it to first, second, and third down, and fourth if you have to go for it. He's definitely one of those guys who can extend the ball and the chains out of the backfield, catching it, and if you give him some sweeps and you get some good blocking, then you get some good running. But the inconsistency at running in the defense, I think, has been the biggest Achilles heel for the Sacramento Condors this year. But you can see when they have it all together and the defense decides to play and the run game at least decides to put up the yards enough to move the offense down the field, that they didn't put up a lot of points here, but they were able to beat a solid Elks team. So it shows what they are capable of. They can improve in these areas. They've been trying to improve in these areas, which we've seen out of a couple of drafts going with defense. Just got to wait for those guys to develop. And, of course, a lot more pieces need on that defensive side of the ball. But I think there's a possibility of a good future for the Condors there. Will Chase McCoy be a part of it? Not really sure too much about that. We'll have to see. But looking at the Elks here in this game, kind of, shocked. Well, not really shocked. Eric Fisher's been an up and down quarterback as well. The run game, you can never count out Darius Martin. Just been phenomenal this year. So the Elks, in my opinion, they just underperformed in this due to I just think that maybe underestimation. You've seen that happen sometimes in some games, and just teams come out performing way better than expected, and you were coasting, and then next thing you lose the games, not taking those drives seriously, like Bill was saying, opportunities to make plays and move down the field and punch it in instead of kicking field goals and things of that nature, and just couldn't come out with the win here. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. That's a great statement win, though, for the Condors. Hopefully it's going to give them some momentum heading into the offseason and next season to try to start out hot. Moving on to the next game, the Pioneers versus the Riverhogs. You're just talking about the Pioneers here, Rob, and here they are with an upset, a shock.
Yeah.
Riverhogs beat them in their last meeting. Close game there. It was 29-21. This time it's different. Pioneers wins it in a close game by 6, 25-19.
Yeah, man, this Pioneers team I'm really starting to actually like a little bit. I still don't like Lack and McCafton. That's never going to change. But this whole team has really played exceptionally well this year, considering the really bad play at the quarterback position, and they just keep getting better and better every time I watch them. The defense is phenomenal, and you can see that the offense has a lot of skill and a lot of talent. It's just there's that one piece that never seems to be able to click properly, and because of it, they don't end up winning a lot of games. But this year, I think this is the best year that they've had since I've joined the league, if I'm not mistaken, at 8-8. Usually they're like first or second overall pick, and this year I don't know what that's going to look like. It's almost like a bad thing for them because they still do need pieces, but you definitely did not see this coming, especially for the Riverhogs with the amount of talent that they have, amount of veterans that they have. It's unfortunate to see them, end the season on such a low note because who knows how much longer we're going to see Hunter Mackey in a RFL uniform, period. So, big win for the Pioneers, upsetting loss for the Riverhogs, that's for sure.
Yeah, it seems like the more bad stuff I say about the Pioneers, man, the better they become. So I'm gonna just start have to talk good about this team. But yeah, like Bill is right. With the 4 extra wins, obviously to get the free wins, but 4 wins this season is a big deal. For this team and for them to actually finish at 500, I thought was that's definitely a significant improvement with prior years. And just looking at the way they were able to do it. I mean, they beat the Riverhogs at home. We were just talking about how well Hunter Mackey plays late in the season and how dangerous this guy can be. And lacking McAfton goes in there, and he's able to get it done. And so it's a big statement. As Smitty knows. Smitty knows I do respect the Pioneers defense. I was actually trying to siphon off some of their players behind closed doors. I wasn't able to do that. But yeah, I think that for the right coach, not just any coach, but if the right coach can get this team, I think that he can do something with this team here. And so they're definitely showing that that you cannot take them lightly, and that they can get it done. And I mean, it was a great win. These teams don't have coaches here, so obviously they played their starters, and the Pioneers get it done 25-19 in Portland, which is big deal. So just great statement win for the Pioneers. Cougars are probably sobbing somewhere because it hurts their draft stock of the pick they have. But at the end of the day, hats off to the Pioneers.
Got to play a bell for Forbes for having these teams flipped on the
Oh
graphics.
yeah, I got them flipped.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, I know the Riverhawks were home. I
yeah,
remember that.
Riverhawks were home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
but yeah, nothing really too much to say about this except, the Pioneers just showing out, shocking. Not really too much shocking. We know the capability is the quarterback play that's been really just struggling for them this year. The run game's been amazing, but they just simply do not run the ball, decided to run it, and they had success. Not wowing numbers, but they split carries with their back. So you add that all up, these guys had a really good day on the ground. McAfton didn't throw over 40 or more passes. He was close to it, but, you see what happened. Still 2 interceptions. Finishes with 27 interceptions on the season. That is a league high all time. So breaks a record in a negative way for the most interceptions in league history in a single season with 27 picks. That's just tough. But you got to give it to the Pioneers, shutting down Hunter Mackey. No touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, and that's tough for him. Most likely that's going to be the end of his career. Definitely had taken a heavy regression this season before, and it's going to come again. So that might be it for Hunter Mackey, pretty much going out like Drew Brees this past season. So that's all I really got to say about that. Good win by the Pioneers. Can't sleep on anybody in the RFL. This was a big game right here for the Diablos. They had to take on the Tigers. The Tigers just came off of a big win that ended the season early for the first time ever in franchise history for the Toronto Thunderbirds. And here they were taking on the Diablos on the road. And it was a close game. They were up as much as 14-0 to start this game, but the Diablos team was able to rally back and get the job done. Final score 24-17.
Another solid day for the Axel in the backfield, man. 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's really put on a huge performance this year. And I remember, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I said in the preseason, this dude, if he stays healthy, is going to be a next star in this league. And look at him right now. He has close to 2,000 yards rushing. He's just getting better and better by the year or by the game. But this game, man, the Tigers, you almost want to put them in the same category as the Pioneers because you can see the talent. You can see that they have some pieces in place, but there's just that few pieces that they really need. And I guess you could put this on the quarterback again. We all thought maybe Billy Johnson would end up being a potential future, franchise quarterback for them. And he just seems to be getting worse and worse as the season goes on. And it really held them back because we've seen how many times this team has almost beat a team that they really shouldn't have been, yet they still sit here at 7-9 wondering what's going on. Definitely knowing what's going on next week, and that's that they're not doing anything. And but they've been doing this all year long. They almost win games that they should get blown out in, and then they'll randomly win a game here and there, but they don't ever seem to go away. So for the Diablos, like you said, to be able to battle back and beat this team, you would think looking at their record that this is like a bad performance for the Diablos, but really this Tigers team is a lot better than their paper grade says they are. So this was a great win for the Diablos to be able to battle back, don't go away from the run game, keep doing what works for you, and close out the season with a big win.
Yeah, definitely. A great Tigers team. But just and Smitty, I've said this before. There's really only so much the AI is going to do with certain teams. Certain teams are just good, and the AI can just run them through, and they can be 11-5, 12-4, whatever you want to say. But other teams, they do need the coaching, and this is the same thing with the Pioneers. I think the same thing with the Condors. These teams, and actually, essentially the same thing. With the Bulldogs and the Black Knights before they had coaches. We were saying this. Some of these teams are really, really good. They just don't have the right coach behind them. And so I think that, if we can, I don't know why we don't have 32 coaches here in the RFL. That's always perplexed me, being there's so many, people who love Madden and love, football and stuff. It's just kind of odd that we don't have 32 solid coaches. But one day soon, I think we will. And I think that people will start to look at teams like Chicago and the Pioneers in a different light. Obviously, with the Monarch situation, you can see, kind of what changes there. But nonetheless, still, a close game. I'm pretty sure this game is much closer than Coach Forbes would have liked it to be. But at the end of the day, it is playoff football. It is week 17, and some teams have nothing to lose, and other teams have everything to gain. And so just a decent job, I would say, by the Tigers, but unfortunately the Diablos get it done. And just hats off to just what the Diablos have been able to do this season, and what they are kind of expected to do in the playoffs a little bit, man. So yeah, I'll stop my comments there, man. Great job by the Diablos.
Yeah, and just to go on a comment with the coaches, man, we could have been had over 32. The thing is, getting the right guys, man. A lot of guys coming here thinking they know how to do certain stuff, and
right,
man, we had a lot of coaches, well over 32 coaches in here, and just had to get dropped off. They didn't for one keep up with their duties, didn't care for teams, making teams worse. And so, that's the situation with that. We just got, if you're looking to be a coach here in the RFL, got to be a dedicated guy, got to know what you're doing, got to know what you're talking about, got to understand Madden franchise and how to build a team. Do not apply to be a coach if you don't have those traits or knowledge about it. For one, we have a new system that's in place. We're looking to even build more on that for guys applying. So for one, you might not even be able to make it through the process. But, if you do and you don't know too much about it, I wouldn't recommend like applying, at all. But with that being said, nothing really too much to say about this game. Tigers always put up a really good fight, have been this season. And the Diablos, just got it done. A good team coming out on top. So congrats to Coach Forbes finishing 12-4. Moving on to the next game, the Huskies have been on fire towards the end of the season, and these guys absolutely bring it to the Bisons as they win it by 18 points here, 38-20.
Yeah, I just want to know where this has been all year, man. I mean, like you said, they got hot, the last few weeks of the season. And this is sort of what we expect out of the Huskies on a regular basis, but we just really haven't seen that much this year. And they had a huge day from McQuarters, who I swear, no matter how old he gets, he's always good for one or two of these kind of games every season. He's just so nobody can forget about him. Like, hey guys, I'm still here. And it's a big win for the Huskies, man. It's again, some of these, it shows how important 1 to 2 games is here in the RFL. One game the wrong way can have you looking silly. And with the Huskies having the inconsistencies and the troubles, it just, that's what's going to happen. But you can see what the team is capable of when they have a game like this. They have the talent, they have the players there. They just can't seem to put it together all the time, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of guys who love the Huskies and want to see them, in the postseason, going for the Reload Bowl, and now you just get to watch a Week 17 clip until next season.
Yeah, Smitty already denied it, man, on my request, man. But I don't think anybody should take this team over anymore, man. But unfortunately, the commissioner he doesn't think the same way. All good, man. We say the agree to disagree thing. I still think this team is a perennial powerhouse. There were some things that just by jumping on and doing a simple auto depth reorder and formation sub that we noticed right away, too late. On this Huskies team, and that wasn't any of the staff's fault. That was previous coach fault. And unfortunately, my personal opinion is that this team suffered from just mismanagement. And it is what it is. Though we got to move forward, right?
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say about these Huskies is don't take them lightly. I think this team is still like I say, a powerhouse. And I think that, I know Hudson is getting up there with the age, and these guys still are loaded. Believe it, man. They're still loaded. And I want to see what they do in the draft. Obviously, they're going to have some decent draft stock, probably middle of the actually, they're going to have a better draft stock this year than they did last year, if I'm not mistaken. They pulled Streets out last time. I can't imagine who they pull out now. With the draft stock. So this is. I've got my eye on the Huskies. You guys know it. I've got my eye on the Huskies, and great game by them, and good season to the Bisons.
Well, one thing we know they won't be getting out the draft after Isaiah Streets is another wide receiver. They're definitely stacked there. Looks like at running back they might be solid as well because McQuarters, just like Bill said, doesn't age. I mean, 171 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. That is crazy. This guy just, has always been there regardless. Stepping in for Leonidas. I believe he was injured, which is why he didn't play in this game. Same deal for the Bisons. Their starter, Jay Morris, was injured. Coming into this game, the rookie out of West Virginia, Tristan Price, stepped in. Only got 9 carries, and he only was able to produce 22 yards. So stepping in and playing up against the starting defense, just shut it down. And the Huskies, like you were talking about with that depth chart reorder and everything, you got to see the full power of this team, which we should have saw all season. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that. And the Huskies walk out, finishing the season at least good, once again falling short by a game from making it back to the postseason since the last time they made it in season 4 where they won it all. Moving to the next game. Man, every time the Gunners and Shamrocks meet, it's amazing. This time he didn't have the classical dual quarterback situation between Tom Wilson and Jabreet Jackson. He had Jaquil Allen stepping in, and it was still a great game, tit for tat, back and forth. But the Shamrocks, man, Tom Wilson, absolutely just killing it late towards the end of the season. And this guy walks out with the victory to even the score in the series this season. Final score 35-31.
Oh yeah, man. This Shamrocks team it grinds my gears, man. It's just they'll come out here and they'll have games like this, but then they just half the time don't even show up to the field. Like you said, though, this is a divisional game, so we're expected a little bit more of a battle with them. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that the Shamrocks cannot seem to find their footing because Tom Wilson is a magical player, man. You can say what you want about him. He might not be the most have the most arm talent at quarterback, but he makes plays, and he's got a great supporting cast around him. We see here Roland Woods went off again this game. That seems to be a constant this year. They have a good running game when everybody's healthy. And but for the Gunners, man, Jaquil Allen really came in and he made some plays, man. Like, I know we've had some discussions about Jabri this year and the shortcomings in certain areas and whatnot, and I don't know, man. I know it's just a game, but man, Jaquil Allen looked really good out there. You'd almost have to say he maybe commanded this offense a little bit better. But I won't say that because, the Shamrocks defense isn't exactly the best. But I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting out some feelers, Smitty, because I know you're going to say something about it.
Nah, I'm good. All right, I got my opinion. You got yours. You know, that's what the podcast is for.
I don't know why Bill just opened up that bag of trolls right there, man. But yeah, all good, all
So I'm an
good.
instigator.
Man, this is this. You know, I think I got a new word or phrase, man, for these teams. A lot of these teams have identity complexes, man. You know, and you just don't know. You don't know who you're gonna get. You know, you don't know what are you gonna get. You know Are you gonna get the Gunners? You know, with Jabri Jackson? Are you gonna get the Gunners with a terrible Jabri Jackson? You know, they got the backup coming in here. The backup is playing really well for some reason. You know, and I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? This is almost like Jabri Jackson was in the game, if you ask me, you know, and then, you know, you look at, you know, Wilson, you look at the numbers on Wilson, obviously a great day by Wilson. I'm not sure if that's a career day, Smitty, maybe, possibly a career day for him. But
Passing wise, I believe it might
yeah,
be
yeah.
in terms of
So, you
yards.
know, just, you know, a really, you know, boss day for him. And, but, you know, I'm just kind of still looking at the records of these guys. You know, I'm looking at the 9-7, and I'm saying to myself, what would these teams be like with some coaching? And so, you know, I'm really at the moment just kind of just I mean it was a great game, obviously. You know, hats off to Wilson, and definitely I didn't even know who Allen was. I was is this the game I called, Smitty? I'm trying to remember,
No, that
or
was
was this?
this was a
Yeah.
premier game.
Okay, premier game. Yeah, so I'm looking at I remember when Allen took the field out. Is this his second week taking the field or his first week?
Yeah, this was his
Um,
second week being able to
Second
get
week,
on the
yeah.
field. The last time
Yeah.
he had to fill in for Jackson after he got injured.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't know who he was when he first came in to the game, and immediately in that game, I noticed that I was like, wow, this guy's pretty all right. And then the guys in the chat, they they're like, oh yeah, this guy's good, it's good, it's good. And so and then just looking at the stats here on him, man, he did play pretty good. Not to say he was playing the hardest team in the league or whatever, but it's still anytime you see a backup come in and play against a starting unit, then you've got and he's doing this well, then you've got somebody, on your roster that can uphold things should your quarterback go down. So, still a very very close game, very good game, and again, salute to the Shamrocks for getting it done.
Yeah, and a guy's always community look with the trolls always try to go with the hot hand. You got a starting quarterback. Maybe he has a rough year this year. I still think I would have to classify. Yeah, it's a bit of a rough year for Jabri Jackson, but Jaquil Allen. He stepped in. He did pretty all right, but still didn't win this game though. That's one thing I would say. Still did not win this game. Tom Wilson just and one thing that you don't know about Tom Wilson for guys who are new, Tom Wilson, he finishes the season with the second highest completion percentage. And this was a quarterback that has struggled throwing the football all pretty much for most of his career. Guys can remember just from a year or two ago of him just known for throwing interceptions or incomplete passes at the start of games and then heating up later on. And he threw a couple interceptions here, but this was probably one of Tom Wilson's best seasons as the ultimate dual threat. Able to break over 1,000 yards rushing this season because he was able to break over 120 yards on the ground. You can see here, got a rushing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns despite the 2 interceptions, 353. And only missed 4 passes, and 2 of those were from the interceptions. So that goes to show you just how what Tom Wilson is capable of. And what really shocked me the most about his play in the Shamrocks this year, despite them having a rough season, is he was still able to get his top receiver, Roland Woods, the ball. And they were able to be productive. Roland Woods, over 1,000 yards receiving this year. I didn't think that would really be the case. Those guys kind of had a little bit of miscommunication going last season. Managed to fix it all and got it all together, man. I mean, that was just an awesome season, I have to say, with those two. Nice connection. And as for the Gunners, it was just an all around great fight, just all around great game, and it kind of turned out as expected. Even with Jabri Jackson, this game's usually always close. With Tom Wilson, just taking a better advantage, closing out the game when they were down late, come back, win the game, and that was that. So congratulations to Shamrocks finish out the season on a winning note, and we'll move on to the next game. You wanted to say something, or
No,
What was it?
I always thought that I mean I'm just like I told you before, man. I felt like a season or two ago the Shamrocks were too focused on throwing to tight ends. I
Mhm.
looked at and I keep saying this over and over again. Like I know they got some solid tight ends, but they need to be running this offense through Rolling Woods. I'm sorry, anywhere this guy goes, he's going to be the number one guy, the number one target. And I've at least 2 seasons ago they have not been running this ball through him. Just look at, it's a big, this is not even a fluke, right? When you see 5 receptions, 113 yards and 1 touchdown, that means this guy's going for what, 20 plus yards a reception, right?
Mhm.
And making an impact. And that's a light day right there. That's a light day for any wide receiver with 5 receptions, 113. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I really, really think that the Shamrocks could definitely benefit from running more through Woods, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, and you would talk about last because 2 years ago he was a rookie. He had a great rookie season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
So
the last
the
year.
middle
Yeah,
season.
it was
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year that
yeah.
they just did not connect, and Wilson
Boy.
did
Throwing to Nicholson or whatever his name
and
is,
it was
and some other
scrambling and
guy.
stuff.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
got that together, and they were able to turn the season around when they were struggling. Man, so didn't think they were going to be on a positive note at the end of it. But
I
moving
think I
on,
know why.
what's that?
Woods was bad last year.
What's that?
'Cause he was wearing that stupid old lineman face mask. Couldn't see nothing properly.
The bell.
Oh boy.
Well, what's going on here?
Oh, that's crazy.
Okay,
Roland
something's
blocked
going
the
on
bell,
with the
man.
bell. Yeah, so Roland must have
Wow,
came through.
Roland.
But yeah, this was the final
Blocked.
premiere game. Well, it wasn't a premiere game. I called this one. The Crusaders and the Steamers went at it, and a shock, man. The Crusaders were able to walk out with a victory, and it almost seemed like it was all field goals for the Steamers, which pretty much it was. They only were able to record 1 touchdown, and they could not score nothing else really. And the Crusaders walked out of this with a victory, 26-12.
Man, I hate to have to do this, but I'm gonna have to give the Steamers the bell, man. I don't know what happened here. Is it working now? I can't hear.
Yeah, it worked.
Oh, so it's just Roland. See, Roland, that was collusion right there. Anyway, yeah, this was a really weird game, man. I'm not trying to disrespect the Crusaders, all right? But the Steamers, I mean, at one point, we're fighting number 1 spot in the NRC, and we know that they've had some up and down, or maybe not up and down, but the offense hasn't been as maybe explosive as we've expected them to become with Wagner and Kerrigan back there with all those fancy receivers he's got. But I don't know, man. This was just a weird game for them. I really expected them to win. I know the Crusaders needed a big win, but it was just this is something you don't want to have happen, week 17 before you go to the postseason, because it can really knock the wind out of you. And I hope that, I'm sure Justin Jones has something up his sleeve to try to figure it out and right the ship, but this is not a fun way to limp into the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them next week.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. They got this guy Benedict over there, man, and I know he only had 80 yards, but it's how you get those 80 yards, And this guy picking up first downs and everything and stuff, and just his maneuverability, and honestly, man, I'm gonna tell you, the Crusaders are also not a bad team at all. This team starting to put together some things going on here. They're still young, and Coach Bacigalupi, man, we jump on him sometimes, but hey, he's staying consistent here. He was 10-6 this season. Obviously not the record he would like to have. Hey, he's playing in a tough division, in a very, very tough division with more stacked teams like the Steamers. And he ended up getting it done here in week 17. And so, these Crusaders, if he continues to, work his magic with them, we'll see how he does, in the draft and stuff. I think that, the Crusaders are going to be a team that we talk a lot more about. I'm pretty sure if it was up to Bacigalupi, it'd just be all Crusaders, or whatever, every show and everything. But hey, we know he really supports his team. Jones, I've seen this out of my boy Jones, man. Jones sometimes sometimes Jones fumbles a little short sometimes, you know. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of Jones's fumbles come late in the season. Starting to wonder if maybe he just gets a little nervous, you know, about the game plan, you know, and the pressure. I don't know what's going on with him, you know. But a lot of us make mistakes, you know, at the end, in changing things and switching things and trying new things and maybe not doing anything at all sometimes. And so I'm hoping that the Steamers are going to be powerful in the playoff games, and you know, I'm really hoping. I really hope the Steamers go far. You know, that's all I can say about that. But hopefully, he'll be able to pick this up and just shake this little loss off and go into the playoffs strong.
Yeah, tough loss to take right before you have to go into postseason to a team that, like we said, it's not bad, but this is a game, you're at home, you're going up, you're about to go to the postseason. This is a game you have to pretty much win just to get that momentum going. And now, hopefully this is something that's not going to have Coach Jones questioning himself, changing things up too much, because like you said, that can really alter, the outcome and the way a team plays. But we'll have to see. This was definitely an upsetting performance by them to get only 12 points. And that's one thing that's been consistent about the Memphis Steamers this year. And I talked about it in multiple podcasts is, guys sometimes get excited. Oh, Steamers did this one game, put up 30 points. But I've been seeing inconsistencies with the offense finishing. And that's something that this team really has not struggled with at all since Reed Wagner has been there. When they're on, they're on. But this season, it has been an on and off type situation that you really don't want to have going into the postseason, especially with the talent, the level of teams that are going to be there that you're going to have to play in the NRC. As for the Crusaders, Benedict, he grinded out those yards. Steamers did a great job shutting them down later in the game. But Wakefield, he that's another guy I feel is a little bit of a sleeper quarterback. When we call the games, me and you, Rob, we tend to, talk about him because we know the capability of this guy. He can put up numbers and yards in a minute, but this is a quarterback that really doesn't get talked about a lot. But he is great.
4,500-yard passer, man.
Yeah, and passed for 5,000 yards last season.
Yeah.
And here he is. Look at this final game, 29 of 38. 271 yards and touchdowns, no interceptions. So with that and the running game of Benedict going, these guys were able to sustain the offense, and the defense stepped up in a big way, shutting down a top-tier offense in the league. So but to be able to do this against for a defense that hasn't been that great historically, that says a lot about the Steamers. But I also remember in this game, which was very important to talk about, is the Crusaders defense actually excelled well beyond what they were last year, and were actually a really good defense this year. I believe they were in the top 10 heading into that game. They might finish top 10 after this game because there wasn't much points and yards given up. So that's one thing I think that won the Crusaders this game and took them to the next level.
I just want to add on too, man, with Benedict, man. This guy came in at week 7, Smitty, of the season, and he amassed 900 yards on the season.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say
he's been balling, man.
And I'm going to say and kind of bell myself. I mean, I don't think I said this out loud. I think I did to an extent to where I was like, I think Vondre Bryson needs to be in the game. This Benedict guy, he's not going to always be like this, but he proved me wrong by he was consistent every week. I don't think there was a week where he was literally shut down. So, hats off to Coach Bacigalupi for actually sticking with that and doing what he's doing, man. That was awesome.
Look, this is Prom Bacigalupi. I said he amassed 900 yards. He said 901. You can't take one chip from this guy, man. What is
this guy going to do when he doesn't have any more chips?
Not one single corn. I think he got a whole corn chip field, man.
Yeah, what is he gonna do when he starts playing good all the time? Like his team is rocking, and we just don't even talk bad about him anymore.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And then one thing I have to say, like I think I said this in the game, he was in the hot seat, man. He was in the hot seat for things outside of the coaching thing. Second back-to-back 10-6 season. But I gave him an ultimatum just like I gave Rozier for this season. You guys know when we talked about it, I was like, look, man, you got to win 6 games.
You got to
win at least 6 RFL
games.
I just realized something. I just realized something.
What's that?
Dude, Benedict ran for 80 yards on the dot, right? And he finished with 901 yards.
Yeah.
Against the Steamers.
901.
Oh, not on. Oh, okay, Bill. Okay, Bill.
Bars.
Okay, we got to unbail Bill now, man. That was a good one right there, Bill. That was a good one.
There we go.
9-on-1.
That's what's up, man. But yeah,
That was some straight disrespect to Justin.
Wow.
that's hard though. That was really hard. Let's get him.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think I got a cheers button. Let's go ahead and congratulate
Yeah,
Bill for that.
okay, Bill.
That's bars right there. Okay, Bill.
Bill
we
getting
see.
his Paul Wall on.
Yeah, we got a grill and everything. George Foreman.
Oh man, that's funny, man.
But yeah, I think we said pretty much all we need to say about this game. I talked about the ultimatum thing. He got his 6th win with that win, so team really came through in the end for him. But that was it for Super Saturday. We moved on to the second to last day. This was on Sunday, and then it was the Celtic Tigers versus the Armadillos. Because of the Black Knights win earlier, which in that week on Thursday, the Celtic Tigers were not guaranteed. I think if they lost this game, they would not have won the ARC East. So this was a must-win game. Armadillos was on the longest losing streak this season with 8 losses, and it became number 9 as Drake Crowell in his final game. As I'll say, we don't know if it's going to be his final game if he doesn't retire and he's a backup for Justin Jones, but this is his final game, I would have to think, as a starter in a regular season, and he went out blades of glory here. Final score 34-23.
Hey,
This
Hey,
quarterback.
Bill. Yo, I got some Kleenex for my man Smitty over here, man, because he's about to drop a tear on. He's about to drop a tear on the game, man. Watching this boy. He was proud, man. He was proud watching his boy, man.
Here's some Charles
And it's the
Straclone's
trolls
moments
that
after
make
the
me
game.
more prouder, man.
Yeah,
I would have never,
yeah.
Dre would have probably never got that much publicity if guys just gave him his due diligence. You know what I'm saying? But guys wanted to hate on the GOAT. I see what Tom Brady had to go through. You know what I'm saying? But, he showed you guys up, and I will bail the community for those trolls.
You can't
we
be
heard
doing that.
We heard a little sniffles, few sniffles on the stream, man. You know what I'm saying? The crowd was getting loud. He was like, "Oh, the crowd's loud, guys." Trying to sneak him in. We heard him on transitions, man. CP got the recording, man. We gonna post it, man.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I feel like a broken record because this Celtic Tigers team has been just doing this on offense all season, it seems, and I feel like Dre just keeps calling up Father Time for like an extension of his abilities because he just keeps doing what he does. But I feel like he's about to run out of minutes or something, man. Because like you said, man, I don't know what's going to happen after the season for the guy, but hopefully the team can rally around him, and maybe they can win a playoff game.
Yeah, man. Just watching this game. All jokes aside, man, Drake Crowell is really a phenomenal quarterback, man, and I know we give, I know y'all know I give Smitty a hard time with Drake Crowell, man. It's still old folks home next week. Y'all know what time it is, man.
We're gonna go to this.
But no, watching this game, man, I really, really was like, wow, man, this guy is really doing it. There were some passes to Nayani that were just remarkable, man. And all you could do was hate, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff I saw,
Look at the chat.
let me see what's the chat. What's
Shout
the chat
out to
saying?
Legion of Gaming.
Read it, Smitty.
Not $4.99. What was that?
What do you say?
Read his message with it.
It says, difference between Drake Crowell and Brady. Brady got rings. That's cool. He's only got to play 6 years, though. But I will hit you up with more statistics when it's my time. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Rob.
Yeah, but yeah, he had a great game and everything, man. McCall just turned me back into Ratchet, man. Come on, McCall, man. Anyway, no, but it was a great game, man. He got some great performances out of his backup unit here, and it is kind of sad, that this is obviously his last game as a starter. And but it's a great thing though. It's a great thing for him. I'm gonna tell you, man. Smitty, you could be selfish and ride him out till the wheels fall off, and he just really, really get the ultimate wheelchair, parade. But I think it's a great thing to take him out on a high note, and at the same time promote Justin Jones as a starter. And then maybe if Crowell comes back and something happens to Jones, I mean, you never know. Jones may not be taking care of himself, man. If he gets injured, then man, I might get to see Crowell come in again and play some more football if he hasn't retired. So it's not over for Drake Crowell just yet. But nonetheless, a great performance out of the Celtic Tigers. And now I'll go ahead and let Kleenex Boy go ahead and give his spiel.
First off, for all the haters talking about Dre, this man later in his career grew for the older he gets, the better he gets. That's what you guys don't understand.
And the quicker he leaves the playoffs.
All right.
Yeah.
but Dre Crowell, another season in which he threw for over 5,000 yards, finished the season with 5,015 yards. We'll go into the awards, of course, when that comes up. Finishes, I can't talk about that because then, of course, that's going to talk about the awards. You'll hear more about Dre. But falls a yard short of 200 yards, 200 total career passing touchdowns. They had talking about his percentage, he's going to finish his career as a regular season, 71.5% completion percentage. That's the highest out of any quarterback in the RFL. I compared this guy
for career.
For career, yes.
Wow.
So nobody has been as accurate as Dre Crowell. So for the haters, catch that.
Okay.
Another thing.
You've been mining stats.
Yes, I have.
Mining stats.
Yes, I have. The amount out of 6 seasons, he's passed for 27,420 yards, right? I took Tom Brady's best 6 seasons in the NFL and compared them to Dre Crowell's, and Dre Crowell was only off by a little over 1,000 yards. Tom Brady in his best season, these are all his best seasons combined, is at 28,848 yards. All right. Tom Brady, his best touchdown passing seasons, 235 yards, 235 touchdowns. He's at 199. And then we get a look at the interceptions. This is going to be high no matter what quarterback you look at in the RFL period, because interceptions in the RFL, believe it or not, I think most people should believe this is actually pretty rampant. But he finishes with 72 total interceptions. This season, I will say, the knock on him was he had the most interceptions he's ever had in his career, which was 17. A couple of seasons ago, in the season he didn't make the playoffs, he threw his most interceptions, which was 15. But that I can't even dive too much into these stats until we get to the awards and everything. But Dre Crowell is the GOAT. And for the guys talking about the Armadillos being the Armadillos, he should have won this game. Y'all act like the Armadillos defense sucked. Just because this team lost, y'all know, y'all just be talking. That's how I know the hate is real. Because this Armadillos defense is solid. And Dre, to finish his season with 367 yards, 4 touchdowns, and to reach those milestones at this moment, I mean, it's just the ultimate way to go out. So those hating on Dre, I'll bail you again. Dre is the GOAT. And Celtic Tigers.
So much hate right now in this chat here, man. We got the Miami boys out here talking about Bengay and Pine Sol and that Dre needs to cut them dreads because they're getting dirty.
They're getting dirty out there with them winds on the field, putting in work. That's what's been going on. And then just to talk,
not a fan.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about the game. I mean, we've already talked about it. Just everyone balling out, but when you have Dre Crowell, Trey Worsley, and Matt Niani balling like this, when they hit the hundreds, it's usually wraps. It's over. Like every time they do that as a trio, it's a win. So like that's going to have to be key for those teams in the playoffs to have to make sure that doesn't happen. Because it's tough to stop this offense. But one thing that's been questionable about them has been their defense. Defense definitely has been shaky, but a good win here for the Celtic Tigers nonetheless. Stop hating on the GOAT. Okay.
They said I had that little last one in there.
Going on to the next one. Man, this was huge, and you'll see more about it when we talk more about, the playoffs and who made it and everything. But the Snowhawks, man, what a game this was. They were able to beat the Monarchs. Nice back and forth action. They win it here 37-27.
Yeah, big game for the Snowhawks. They had a little bit of a extra momentum push last week when they got that game against the Diablos where I think they were resting starters. They carried into this week and they get a huge win over a team that has been really playing well. If this was last year, I would say that the Monarchs had a great game, but with this year, they really seem to underperform. I don't think we've seen this bad of a game from Schrader all year long. 4 interceptions, 25 of 44. Like, man, it just seemed like the Snowhawks really had it dialed in today for this game or against the Monarchs and really finished this season strong, which really gave them a big boost. And like you said, we'll find that out a little bit later.
Yeah, aside from the records, this is what I thought this would have been if you had asked me this in the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't believe that this actually happened, that the Snowhawks could actually beat the Monarchs. I think the Snowhawks kind of were kind of an underdog in this game a little bit, to this team. It's no shade to O'Brien or the Snowhawks. It's just that the Monarchs, up until recently, were playing really, really well, and obviously have just totally performed better than we thought they would perform this season. So, but what I will say is not sure what got into Schrader in this game.
Yeah.
Really don't know what got into him in this
Back
game.
to season 5.
And why he would wait to the week 17 to play like this, man. You know, I got to give him a bell for that one right there. Man, that Snowhawks defense really, really just exploded. I'm not sure. I want to see more out of the Snowhawks because I've kind of been an advocate for the Snowhawks. I think that this team has a lot of young studs in places. Man, what you saw was you saw that when you just watching that game, you just saw that defense just take over. Like they literally took over. Started with the pick from Buchanan Simmons. He turned around and got another one. And then over there on the other side, Draymond Deere, a couple of pick sixes by this team. And, man, that just really set the tone in this ball game for the Snowhawks. Nonetheless, though, I mean, it still was a great game, but Snowhawks really, really just did something special to these Monarchs in this win. And I know it's just a 10-point game. It looks like it was close, but just really, really shut it down. So hats off to the Snowhawks for getting the playoff bid, and man, just falling short for the Monarchs. Man, really, thought everything will be good.
Yeah, big win here for the Snowhawks. A game that they knew they had to win. Lose, they were out. Gave themselves a good percentage of a chance to get in. We're, of course, going to announce who made it and who's going to be facing who after this. But the Snowhawks, man, Joseph Gidley, he looked a little bit rough at times, but kept the offense afloat. But I was very just proud to watch that team get that win and grind that out with the players that made that happen. More so in particular, other than the cornerbacks out there, DJ Scott, playing his final game as a Snowhawk in the regular season. And that guy, you could tell, just wanted it bad. 18 carries, 70 yards, got a touchdown. Even so special of a day, I think Coach Baker decided to spell the whole guy's name out here on the thing. Supposed to put the dot. But, DJ Scott, man, was just, you could tell every time he touched that ball, the reason why he was a top bell cow running back for this offense for years. And I know they got those young guys now who they have the plans of moving on to and taking over. But Scott definitely going out and going out with a bang, moving his team to the postseason, and as for just the defense to step up in the way. And we talked about it after the game with the cornerbacks. That was an area in which Coach O'Brien himself said, I feel like I got probably one of the weakest cornerback cores in the league. And he said this last season, and I believe the season before was more so the 2 seasons ago. But, they stepped up big in this game. And Preston Schrader, those 2 interceptions that they got that were pick six, those were just jumps on the ball. It wasn't that he threw it straight to the defender or made a bad read. It was just great play on the football by both Buchanan Simmons and Draymond Deere. And Draymond Deere went on to win Defensive Player of the Week this week. So, outstanding performance by the Snowhawks. They had to fight and grind out for this. If it wasn't for that defense and those pick sixes, though, who knows? Probably would not have been able to get this win. Tough loss for the Monarchs and Schrader.
Hey, Smitty, man, I think Darius cracked the case, man.
What's that?
I don't think it really was Joseph Gidley, man. It says G Gidley. It must be George Gidley. Joseph didn't win this game.
Evil
man. Little
twin.
brother, evil twin, man. One in the crowd. It's in the crowd games, man. Came in and played for Joseph, man. Got the win for him.
I need to get with my guys making these graphics for me, man. Y'all out here tripping. Let's bail the guys. But moving on to the final day. This was the last day to close out the week. Aviators versus Dreadnoughts, as we called this the backup bowl, man. We got to see Russell Rennes back in action, taking over for Marquise Washington as they sat him. And Marty Eggert got an opportunity to play for the Dreadnoughts. And the game wasn't all that entertaining, as we expected. It was a good one, at least to watch. I have to say more so towards the end. And the Aviators, they finished with their best record in franchise history, 14-2 with a 21-16 victory.
I really don't have much to say about this just because, this was pretty much a glorified preseason game. Both teams already knew what was happening. It was nice. It's obviously a good thing for these teams to be able to see who they have as depth for, the coming weeks, and then also who they can build off of for the future. So I really don't have much to say about this one. I didn't know who would win because of this, but I will say, man, I love the all whites with the aviators, man. That just looks so clean. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I chose those, man. You're welcome. You're all welcome, man. Yeah, but yeah, this is just you know how it is. The game, the guys got the backups in. I don't know who Marty Edgar is and everything. Sounds like a sitcom name or something like that. Some movie from the '80s. Marty Edgar.
Let me give a bell though out to
Yeah.
Coach Frankie with some of his jokes towards his players, man. Because I don't know if you guys seen the Instagram post where he posted about this game, right? He said, "Close but no Edgar."
Oh,
And you
Bell.
guys are giving me a
Yeah,
hard
Bell.
time about the cage thing?
Give this
Yeah,
man a
Bell.
bell, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good try.
Where's Noah
But,
Underhill at, man? The
Jesus.
dad jokes.
Yeah.
I love dad jokes.
That was a
Wait a
grandpa
minute.
joke. That was a grandpa joke. That was a great grandpa joke.
That's not
Ancestor
even
joke.
close to making sense.
Oh man.
Like I knew what he
Hey,
meant, but like, nah, that wasn't
That's
hit.
horrible.
That didn't hit right
Oh.
at all.
Yeah. Only exciting thing about this game is my boy Demetrius George, man. Frankie, every time I watch Demetrius George, Bill, can you just take this knife out of my back, please, man? You know what I mean? I just take it out.
I knew you were
yeah,
going to say that.
Yeah, I still got the knife. I still got the knife from Frankie just mugging me for Demetrius George, man. I don't know how I would have worked him into Chicago. I definitely was harboring this guy, but man, I know I don't know if I told you guys the whole story, but man, I found this guy, Demetrius George, at the bottom of the barrel in free agency, and I said to myself, man, this guy's got some major talent. And I tried him in practice and everything, and I really liked him. But I've got Boyd and Knight and Locker. There's nothing I could do. So I'm like, man, if I could just keep him on my practice squad, if one of these guys get injured, I'm about to bring this guy in, man. He's killer on the screen. He can run. He's fast. He got power. And good old Frankie, the old Basset Hound, sniffed him out, man. And took him off my roster, my practice squad roster. I was really mad about that, man. But the guys, it's funny to the league office because they know that I did the same thing to Coach O'Neal with Anthony Connell. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like, you got, you get what you get, man. And so, but yeah, every time I see Demetrius George play, oh man, I just really love watching this guy play, man. Just a really special guy. And he is one of the main reasons why I think that these Dreadnoughts have been so good, is being able to rely on this guy in the short to medium yardage situations, and he's turning them into big yardage, right? You know what I'm saying? So hats off to Frankie for that find there. Obviously, they didn't get the win against the Aviators here. I think I did call this game. I said that that Renez was looking like Renez of yesterday. That's what I saw. Man, Katron Lusk, boy, did he look imposing.
Yeah.
He looks so great. And so, it is what it is, man. The Aviators, they squeezed the win here. Obviously, not against the starting unit of the Dreadnoughts. But we're gonna get to see who's who and what's what next week.
Yeah, and
Or this week or whatever. Yeah.
And as for I was going to talk more about Kadron Luss.
Yep.
I mean, this guy about to be hitting free agency. It's a lot of running backs, a lot of good talent. I think that's going to be in free agency for some teams to go grab, putting on a show and just keeping this team in it. Because the Dreadnoughts were dominating for the most part. I think it was 7-16. And it was just sitting there for a while, very just slow first half. But the second half woke up and Kadron Luss just kept doing it, just making big plays. Every time he got the rock, 2 touchdowns. And Russell Rennis, like you said, he did look very similar. And the reason why those guys sat, why it was a great decision to go with Marquise Washington instead of Russell Rennis. The offense, even with him, was stagnant. We can say, though, they didn't have their receivers, the backup receivers they had. So, I maybe can't really say too much on that, but the Aviators did what they were supposed to do. Came in here, got the win, battled back with the backups, and just that's a great win right there. 14-2. best team record-wise in the RFL. And
Yeah,
moving
for
on
for
to
learning this about this Edgar thing though, man, I really feel that I need to have my my cage joke unbelled.
no, that was pretty bad too, bro.
No,
But
I demand an unbelling after that.
I don't know, bro. I mean, if they're both bad, what do you want me to do?
Whatever, man.
but let's go ahead and cheer you up with this at least. We'll get, instead of the bell. How about this win you got this past week, man? Big
I'm
win.
not happy about
Needed
it.
to get this win, and the Barons, they needed this win too. This was for the division, and you guys were able to scooch out with a 2-point victory, 19-17. Still can't believe my point spread that low was on point though, like that, man. How about it?
I don't like this at all.
So you don't like it?
This is a horrible. This is a bad game for us, man. Like I'm not no disrespect at all to the Barons at all, but like there was just so many things, and I knew it was gonna be like this because this is such a tough game. But you know how much of a perfectionist I am, man. Worrell made me mad. But my running game looks so good this week. I was really excited to see Atagwe and Big B
Hey,
able to make.
hold on, Bill. My bad, man. Hey, Smitty, man, what does scooch mean? I
mean,
wasn't
like,
gonna say it,
if
but
you scooching, you getting close. You know what I'm saying? So it was close.
Hey, Roland, I'm with you, man. He said scooching. I was about to Google it, like scooch.
Yeah.
What scooch mean, man? My bad,
Roland need to
Bill. I
scooch
had
on
you're
out
good,
with
you're
his
good.
vocabulary I'm using out here.
Yeah, but
Pick
like
up what
this,
I'm putting down. Go ahead.
At the end of this, though, man, like this game, like this is sort of what I feel like games are going to look like between the Explorers and the Barons for a few years, because the Barons have really made a lot of big strides this year. Like we all, like I joked with Roland in the chat after the game. I said, we all knew you were here because we know he likes to talk a lot, but I feel like the Barons and Roland really like arrived this year just because they have really, there was a lot of improvement done, and it's going to make for games that just make you want to pull your hair out like this. And I was just glad that we were able to secure the win and secure the division. That was huge for us. We just have some work to do on the offensive side of the ball because I feel like we were very lackluster in some areas on that side. But every game is going to have those kind of things in it. You just got to learn how to adjust and hopefully play better the next week. So just a great way for us to finish the season, especially after the hand we were dealt early on in the season. Thanks, Coach Forbes. And that's all I got.
Yeah, this is like I think I said before. This game played out exactly how I thought that this game would play out. I didn't know who was going to be the winner. I just know it was going to be a close one here. Both of these coaches, at the height of their game right now in the RFL, and they're competing, right? They know each other very well. They know what they want to do. They know their team very well. They both of them went in prepared in this game to ensure that they didn't get embarrassed and that they were able to compete. And that's what you get, man, when you get two coaches who understand football and understand this game. And it's a 19-17 game. Both of them 11-5. Both of them in the same division. They both won bragging rights. Both of them, really confident about themselves as coaches. And both of them well respected here in the RFL. And so, if it would have been anything else, I would have said that's cap, right? So, I thought it was just a great game. Explorers, edged it out here. Barons, they get it done with the rookie quarterback Caleb Brown. Hey, that's a good statement right there. By the Barons, I just kind of wish, I would like to have seen the Barons with Brinker, and seen how that would have gone. Not sure if it would have been any different. But regardless,
You talking about Vanderbilt design, or are you talking about?
Well, no, I'd rather have seen the Barons at full strength,
okay,
right?
yeah.
In this game. So it's Brinker, right? Yeah, Brinker.
Yeah.
I'd rather have seen them with Brinker. But of course we didn't get that, I heard about the Vanderbilt thing and I thought that would be interesting as well, but it still wouldn't have been Brinker, you know what I mean? I just really like what I saw. And again, Explorers pulled it off. Great win for Coach Nicholson, and better luck next time for Coach Woods.
And this was a really good, I think this is growing because of the improvements of the Barons since Coach Woods got there. That this is a rivalry, a known rivalry. And people don't know this even before Bill got there. The Barons and the Explorers, they were kind of like rivals before, because the Barons did beat the Explorers at some points. in those prior seasons. So like, but it just adds more onto it now with these personalities, and like this is now just as big, starting to get as big as the Thunderbirds and Explorers rivalry, you know. So like I really enjoy this is another matchup to look forward to in the RFL every year. And, you know, we got what we expected out of this, you know, a close, hard fought game. This was a lot more gritty than we expected, you know, and then Explorers, you know, getting embarrassed in Brooklyn, and they embarrassed Brooklyn right back at their home field in Ohio. So this is just RFL football at its finest is what we love to see. And really enjoyed what I saw of both of these teams. Really nothing I can say or take away from both these teams at all. I know there were some things they did bad, some things they did good. I was impressed with Caleb Brown playing as he did. And that's really all I got to say about that. A much needed win for the Explorers, and you got to give hats off to the Explorers. I already put a graphic up about this on social media. The only team in RFL history to have never missed a playoff in franchise existence. So I mean that is crazy. A lot of teams who had that were washed out this year. And Explorers were very close if they didn't get this game, but it's crazy still how the season went with the injuries and all the stuff they battled this year. They were still able to get themselves not only back into the playoffs, but win the division. So shout out to you, Coach Bill, and those Explorers fans out there. But now, after that, that's it for the recap. It's time to let you guys see what we got coming up. And here we go, the matchups for the playoffs. All right, so we can see the matchups. I'll let you know the times in which these will be going down, though. Okay, so we have the Miners and the Black Knights on the ARC side. They will be facing each other. Then it's a rematch from the divisional game from last season and the ARC between the Cougars and the Celtic Tigers in the first round. Then we have the Dreadnoughts taking on the Voyagers. So Coach Baker taking on Coach Frankie. Aviators got that bye seed, of course, as the top ARC seed and the top team in the league. Looking at the NRC side, we have the Barons versus Steamers. Should make for a great game. Third rematch in the division of the NRC West between the Salt Lake City Elks and the Portland Snowhawks. The first round right there. And then the final game out of the list that we're calling right now, these will be in different times though, the Explorers versus Diablos. So there's a lot of big games here. What we got going on, I'll name the games in order. So the first game tomorrow at 1 p.m. So we are going to have 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. games where it'll be dual commentary with me and Rob, like we did a couple days ago in the last game, the Barons and Explorers game. And the first game at 1 p.m. Eastern will be the Salt Lake City Elks versus the Snowhawks. So with that game, I want you guys to let me know who you think's going to win and why.
Bill there?
Bill, you're?
Yeah, I'm here.
Must have to jump out. Oh,
Were you able to hear what I said?
Sorry, I had to turn my mic off because for the ravaging dogs behind me.
all good, all good.
But what did you say now?
I was saying, what's your thoughts? Who do you think's going to win the Salt Lake City Elks and Snowhawks game? Break that down for me, in your opinion.
Rob, can you go first, man?
Oh
It's
yeah, I
going
got you.
crazy
I got
behind
you.
me.
Yeah. As far as you're saying the Elks. I mean the Voyagers, Elks and Snowhawks. So I think that this game is going to come down to the defense of the Snowhawks and also the quarterback play of the Snowhawks. I don't think that the Elks guys, sorry, it's playoff time and I gotta speak my mind, so I'm just gonna say it. I don't think that the Elks are caliber enough for the Snowhawks in the playoff game, man. I think that the Snowhawks have the pieces that they need to be successful in a playoff game. I understand guys like Eric Fisher, and I understand the guys like to root sometimes for the I don't even want to say the underdog because I like a good underdog. I feel that sometimes guys like in the RFL like the left field guy. And if there's anybody that's just been left field, it's been Eric Fisher. And I just don't think that I like the move by O'Neal. He went with his gut. He did what he had to do. He got Bain out of there. Some people think that's questionable. They object to that. I may be one of those guys as well. But he did what he had to do, right? That does not necessarily mean that was the best thing for this team. I just don't think that Fisher has what it takes, to go deep into the playoffs. And I think this is going to be the end of the road for him here against Mr. G and these Snowhawks.
You good Billers?
Yeah, I
Still
think so,
beating
man.
up the
I'm sorry,
dogs.
guys. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
Bill,
it's
it's all right.
just ridiculous. Anyway,
We know it's
well,
Coyotes, Bill. You don't have to lie to us.
that's
We know
what it is.
We know they're howling, man. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So we had the Elks and the Snowhawks games we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard what Rob was saying, and I sort of have the same sentiment. I know the Elks have a really good team. I know they do, but I just don't trust them with Eric Fisher, man. I just don't. I personally feel like the trade at the beginning of the year is going to end up backfiring. I don't know what was going on, to lead to it, but we saw what that team did last year with Kyle Bain. And I just don't know if Eric Fisher is going to be the guy to be able to let them play the way they played last year. And the Snowhawks are really, they're on fire right now. With the last couple of weeks they've been playing, I just think the Snowhawks are going to be able to win this game, and I think that they are the better overall team. And I don't trust Eric Fisher to be able to lead them to a playoff win.
Smitty, can we have an extended period for this one right here? Because I want to answer something, man. I
we
really
can.
like this. I see what Pat is saying. At least Fisher, got them to, but look at the division, man. You know what I mean? Like look at the division. They're there with the Condors, and no disrespect to Bachkalupi, it's not the best season, right? They're 10-6, Condors 7-9. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. Yeah, they they're 11-5, and I guess we could have to say that he was forced into a quarterback position, and now the Elks are, just get into the wild card. Okay, I get it, but like, are we really gonna sit here and act like this guy is like a championship, an NRC championship caliber quarterback, a Reload Bowl caliber quarterback in the Reload Bowl? Are we really gonna act like that? That's my question.
Because Bain's done it, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
And to be honest, for my take on this game, it's pretty much the same thing. Eric Fisher it's a hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get with him. These guys just was barely able to win their division. Took I think there was 2 losses in a row, right? They lost the week before and everything. So, this is just tough in general. The Snowhawks have been kind of inconsistent this year too. Bill was talking about 2 weeks, but it was really last week in which they had a good showing, and that was a close one against the Monarchs. The week before that, that's when they got stumped on by the Shamrocks. So it's inconsistency here. I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Elks somehow pull this off, because the rest of the team, in my opinion, is solid. It's just there's inconsistencies when it comes to the quarterback play with Eric Fisher, which is something we knew coming from when he was in Austin. This guy went from being the offensive rookie of the year back in season 3. The future of the Austin Desperados could not hold up to that, and it just has not been consistent ever since that season. Got his spot taken, of course, from the veteran. They went and had to seek out veteran help and got Chase Mason, who's the starter now, who's got them as the number 1 seed in the NRC. But it's something that he's proven it was more than just a sophomore slump for this guy. It's been consistent now that he has not been a consistent quarterback and growing into a better player. So for me, I don't think he's going to be able to lead this team far. If he wins this, I don't see these guys at all going to the postseason. No, I mean, they're in the postseason, but going to the Reload Bowl or the NRC championship game for that matter. And I do think that this is where it's going to end for them against the Snowhawks. The Snowhawks came off a really big win right there, and I think they get it done. They're on the road, too. This will be in Salt Lake City, so that's how I think it's going to fare. The next game following this is the Miners and the Black Knights. So what's your guys' thoughts on that and breakdown?
Wow, this is
you
can go ahead,
Bill?
man. Oh, you can go.
Okay. So with this game here, I think that this is a very evenly matched game. Out of all the games here, I think this is going to be one of the most evenly matched games. And I'm going to say, man, I like Chumlee. I like what he's got. He's got some weapons there. This game is in Sacramento, Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think I had originally said that I thought that this would be Black Knights all the way in our last little thing,
Mhm.
and I don't think I really thought about this. And it's kind of good that you put us on the spot sometime because maybe my gut instinct was saying Black Knights, and I really love what Langford Cloud has done. This is one of those games where and Holden Wolf is one of those quarterbacks. He's like Mackey, right? And he's
Mhm.
like Wilson. You don't know which one you're gonna get. And they got this saying, man, Snagramento, man. And I forgot about that, right? These Miners are a bit pesky around the football, man. So Holden Wolf is really gonna have to hold on to this football and not make this a Snagramento fest, if you know what I'm talking about, man.
Mhm.
I think what I'm gonna say here is I'm gonna say the defense of the Miners are gonna get it done against the Black Knights.
I'm actually on the other side for this one, man. And it's nothing against the Miners, but I just feel like the Black Knights have quite a few guys in positions that are really important that are veterans. And, you know, like a guy like Holden Wolf, how many more years is he going to be able to do this? I just feel like they have a lot more experience on the field. And I'm not saying the Miners aren't experienced. It's just, Holden Wolf is one of the oldest guys in the league, is he not? um,
I
and
think he's
He's
33.
he's
up
up
there,
there,
though.
man.
Yeah,
He's
he's
up
up there.
there. And Cloud is getting up there, and I just think they have a lot of experience, and I think at some point, veteran players do play well, and the playoffs are exactly where it is. I do think it's gonna be a very close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Miners win, but I just have a feeling that the Black Knights might be in for, one last hurrah with the group of guys that they have right now.
Yeah, looking at this game, I think it is one of the more evenly matched games here in this playoffs for the first round, the wild card. Uh, but if I had to choose, and it's really tough for me to choose, I like what I'm seeing out of both of this. I'm going to say this first before I choose who I think is going to win, is this is definitely going to come down to the quarterbacks. I think both the running backs are going to be able to perform well. The defenses, I think, are going to be able to go back and forth with each other because the Black Knights defense has been pesky as well and got themselves a good secondary, and they can really cause Chumlee some problems. And that's where it's going to come down to the quarterbacks, though. And if I had to go between Chumlee and Holden Wolf on who's going to be consistent that game, I'm taking Holden Wolf. So in this matchup, I would have to say that the Black Knights get it done on the road in Sacramento, and we'll be advancing to the divisional round. So that's my thoughts on that. That's going to be an 8:00 game. I'll be posting the graphic and stuff on that after the podcast. If not after this, it'll be tomorrow, so that you guys know what time those games are that are coming up. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that game, and that will be the Thursday games. Moving on to the Sunday games, we have the Steamers taking on the Barons. This will be at 1 p.m. Who you guys got winning and why?
Wow, that's really tough for this one because if and I'm going to say this, if we knew Ryan Brinker was playing,
Yeah.
I think I would take the Barons hands down.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Memphis, but the Barons defense has been playing great, and the quarterback running back system that they had working with Brinker and Steele has been phenomenal. But I just don't know what we're going to get with Vandervelde, and I'm still leaning towards the Barons because that defense has been playing so lights out, especially given that the Steamers have had some issues on the offensive side of the ball this year. I just have a feeling that the Barons are going to win it, man. Like, I know the Steamers are the 2 seed. I know they are for a reason, but man, this is a really tough call, man. I just have a feeling that the Barons are going to take this one.
Yeah, man. When in doubt, you just got to go with your gut instinct. And I just got to put some respect on Reed Wagner. I think he gets it done against Peyton Vanderbilt. Obviously, Vanderbilt will be the best situation for the Barons currently, I guess. But I just want to believe that Reed Wagner is going to rally his guys, around and get that done. That's a home game for the Steamers as well. So, so yeah, I think that Reed Wagner is going to be victorious at home against the Barons and Vanderbilt.
I hope they get it figured out, man. Don't get me wrong, because I feel like they got, sort of, out of the playoffs last year with the whole juke situation. But I just don't know if they have it this year, man. They just, it's really tough because, like you said, man, that team can rally and they can put up points quickly.
Yeah.
but are they going to be able to is the only thing I'm sort of hung up on.
Yeah, usually it's not a problem, because they have always been consistent. But this year, I've seen a lot of inconsistencies in that offense. And I'm going to go with the Barons in this matchup, despite not having their starting quarterback, simply because of that. Because if they have those inconsistencies, which I think it will show itself, especially against this Brooklyn Barons defense, that's when you have to rely on your defense to stop their offense. Steamer's defense has not been really that great statistically this year and have given up a lot of yards. And we don't have KB playing this week. Coach Roland Woods have already announced he's got Peyton Vanderbilt playing, and guys can say, oh, we never seen him play or whatever. But, you compare him to Ryan Brinker, and they're pretty much similar. Same overall, different in some categories. There's some categories where he's better, Vanderbilt's better, where Brinker's better. So I think that this offense is still going to be able to run similar, maybe not at the same pace, but similar to how it was with Brinker in as at quarterback. And so because of that, I think the offense is going to be able to sustain itself, especially with a great running game and with Kenny Steele. So I think that the Barons defense is going to minimize the Steamers offense. They're going to be able to move on the Steamers defense, and they're just going to end up with the most points at the end of the day. So I got the Barons winning that one. The 8 p.m. game, Voyagers versus Dreadnoughts. What you guys got?
Man, that's tough. You go ahead first this time if you want, man.
Voyagers and Dreadnoughts. I want to believe that Coach Baker is supposed to be here. He's had some. He found a way to get in because he started off really, really hot, and then he cooled off, and then he kind of drifted into the playoff discussion here. And I think that he's a really great coach, and he really put together some things with this team. Not sure what happened on the bumpy road, with him. Maybe just might be some bad run-ins with teams. But I want to believe that he's for real and he's here. I just have to tip the hat to the Dreadnoughts because of how dominant they have been with the QB this season at all levels, man. With all the quarterbacks they've had or whatever, they've been successful with. And to me, I think that the quarterback play is what's important in the playoffs. Others may differ, or whatever. But I think that the most consistent quarterbacks, even if we're looking at this whole bunch of quarterbacks here in the playoffs right now, I think that the consistent play from Matt Jones and John Copeland has been very good amongst the rest of the QBs here. Sorry if I'm missing out on someone's QB who's been somewhat consistent, but I just think that Copeland and Matt Jones have been the talk of the town in the RFL. And I think that Coach Frankie has a couple of options at QB, and especially if one goes down, he still is going to have a starter in the game. And so I think that gives him the edge. I know that Glenn Hay, the play of Glenn Hay has been, somewhat, average, right? At times, good at best, average at times. And so I think that, that's going to be a cause for concern for the Voyagers. Now, on the other side of that real quick, and I'll wrap this up. If somehow Coach Baker can get his offense going, and on top of that, get Okoye to play like Okoye's been playing all season long, filling the gaps, stopping the underneath ball, creating the turnovers. If he can get him to be that way against maybe Copeland or maybe shake up Jones, I'm not sure which way he's going, then I think that the Voyagers stand a chance in this game. But I'm still going to tip my hat to the San Antonio Dreadnoughts just based off of how they've been this season. Okay, I'm done.
I'm really torn on this game myself. I feel like I feel like what you're saying with the quarterbacks is like dead on, because for some reason, I don't know why, I don't even think Frankie knows why, but no matter who he puts behind that center, it seems to work. And it's going to be a huge advantage to to be able to have that, because we all know that a lot of teams have had some, you know, inconsistencies and just rather unusual play from quarterbacks this year, regardless of overall, regardless of scheme, regardless of training, whatever. Um, but I don't know, man. I feel like the Voyagers are due for something, man. I just feel like at some point the backup quarterback something is going to have to break. You know, it's not always going to work. And
Mm.
for as good as the Dreadnoughts are,
Mm.
I just feel like the Voyagers are due for something here. You know, I feel like Glenn Hay he's a veteran. I think he can pull it together. And plus, they're at home. I don't know if Copeland is going to be the guy, if they're playing him and Jones, or if it's just Jones, or I really don't know exactly what the plan is. But I'm just going to roll with Houston right now, because like I feel like at some point that team that we saw earlier this year is still in there, and if they played close to that, this team is really hard to beat, man, really hard. And yeah, so I'm going to roll with Houston on this one.
For my take on this, I'm going to take the Dreadnoughts, and the reason why I'm going to take them, and you know, we could talk about the quarterbacks when you guys brought up about the quarterbacks. You put anybody behind that system. I think the reason why these quarterbacks can thrive is because of how talented this team is, the weapons they have around them, and the way that they just mesh, the way that the things that they are good at. This is the stuff I was talking about with the Desperados and why their offense is almost impossible to stop, because you know, and it's even better because they have even better players overall wise numbers, but it's the things that they're good at that meshes well with everyone else on the offensive side of the ball. But the difference on what makes the Dreadnoughts so much dangerous, and why I think they should be able to just about handedly, in my opinion, walk away with this, is now they are throwing KJ the football. Cam Jones is pretty much unstoppable. That even opens up the rest of the wide receiving core. This team has been able to dominate and beat teams offensively by running the football with their four backs. Just anybody who you want, Demetrius George, Javonte Gilliam, Kirby Britt, Ryan Brankler, any one of those guys. They got formations for them that's going to put your team in a situation where you just don't know what you're going to get. And now you got to worry about the pass. You know, before you really had to worry about the legs in the running game with Matt Jones, and Matt Jones could hit you with the pass occasionally and look good as a duel. But I feel, and I know that Coach Frankie is going to be going with the hot hand in this situation, and he's already put that out there, which he should. The guy who is set to get this offense going, has gave your offense the most spark and light this season, has been Copeland. He's only had one bad game, and a good thing about it that proves that he has the capability of being a consistent quarterback in this offense is because after that bad game, he at least had another game to play again, bounce right back through for over 350 yards. So this is a consistent quarterback in this system. He's thriving well in this system. So I think the offense, despite how good the Voyagers defense is, will be able to get points and move down the field effectively. And in the area where the Voyagers will struggle is their offense against their defense. The Dreadnoughts defense, we already know nobody can just about pass the football on these guys. That Area 51 defense is really Area 51 out there. You go there, it's over. You know, you're lost. Hay throwing into that is just, I don't see that working out for them. The run game has been inconsistent with the way that they utilize their running backs. I mean, it depends on the certain situations, I think, in the matchups and the defenses. But with the Dreadnoughts defense, even though they struggle a little bit more with the run game, I think they will have more of a chance to be able to keep that run game inconsistent. So I do feel that the Dreadnoughts should overpower and overwhelm the Voyagers really in this matchup, despite being on the road. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout or anything, but I do feel like the Dreadnoughts should win this game. And the way I see the Voyagers being able to flip the script and turn things around is if Glenn Hay balls out of his mind, if their defense finds a way to make Copeland have a bad game, and if their run game is consistent. The run game, I think, is the most important part, because that's an area in which you can attack this defense. And if you do it enough, you will get to soften up that pass defense of the Dreadnoughts, which is already great. So I do feel like the Voyagers do have a chance. Anyone's got a chance in the RFL. But I definitely have a higher percentage chance of the San Antonio Dreadnoughts winning, because I think they're probably one of the most well put together teams with less inconsistencies than any other team in this playoff right now. And so I got the Dreadnoughts all the way in this matchup. Moving on to the final day matchup, is we have the Diablos versus Explorers. So, Bill, what's your thoughts going into that game? What do you need to do to win in that?
Well, I think we just need for Worrell to be calm down a little bit. We saw last week how he was a little trigger happy with the ball and made some questionable throws that didn't really need to be made that ended up into interceptions. We had the one where we had the comeback route, which actually would have been open if he threw the ball on time, but because he threw it too late, the DB was able to make a play on the ball. And then there was the underneath route where it was clear as day that ball should have never been thrown. And I don't know if that was, jitters for being, first big game back after his injury. I don't know really what to put it at, but we need to keep the ball under control on offense. And on defense, we just need to really focus on the run game, I think. Not disrespecting anything about the passing ability of the Diablos, because we know that they have a good passing game and they have good receivers and they have a great quarterback. But we've seen that this year the focal point is a run game. And if we are able to slow down Axel in some capacity, not shut him down, because when you have backs like that, there's not really we're going to shut him down completely. It's just how can we try to contain it? And we just really need to convert on offense. We have had such an issue with converting field goals into touchdowns or trading away touchdowns or field goals. And you just can't do that consistently and expect to win games back to back. So those are the keys to the game for me. Obviously, you guys know who I'm going to pick to win.
And just to throw something else in here, this team is a little handicapped. They do get Timothy Staten back. Woolfolk will not be in the fold. We've seen this team with those pieces missing, though. Do you feel good about your chances of that offense being able to accomplish that, seeing as this defense has lost that impact?
Obviously, anytime there's not a guy like Woolfolk out on the field, you're going to feel a little bit more better about your chances. But we also have a big hole in the middle of our defense right now without Tyquil Jones. So I feel like, while we might have a little bit more success because of the lack of Woolfolk, we might also be at a disadvantage on the defensive side of the ball playing, stop the running back because of our gashing hole in the middle. So I do feel the offense will benefit, but I feel like the offense is going to have to do that to maintain with the defense, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Rob,
yeah, I talked, Bill, we talked, man, I hate to sting you a little bit, man, with the Cecil Austin thing. But that was like really shocking to me, man. You know what I'm saying? And so I think
that, what happened there.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm really, really, really hoping that that first of all the secondary will be straight, obviously, against the wide receiver core, and then at the same time, I'm looking at the running game of the Diablos, and guys have forced me to recognize Madison Axel. Only took about a week or so, right? And so I know, but I do want to definitely want to recognize that guy as well, and the potential that he just has to just be that devastating back in games. This game is difficult to really call because there's just some really great players on both sides of the ball and some really great matchups, and I don't really know who to say who could overpower in this game. DBs of the Diablos, pretty solid. Wide receiver core of the Explorers, pretty solid. Looking at the O line of both of these two teams, pretty solid. Defensive lines, pretty solid. Obviously Woolfolk is out until the next week or the week after, whenever. But the Diablos are still great without Woolfolk, so this is a really tough call here, and because of that, and this is really the only reason I'm able to do this is because I have to go with the team that has the tenure here, right? And so I do have to choose Explorers over Diablos simply because the Explorers are they were the Reload Bowl champions, but the runner-ups here last year, and so until this point it's just pretty much been the Diablos in their way. The Thunderbirds in their way, right? So, and they're no longer a part of the discussion. And so, you want to say that this should be a walk to the, this should be a walk for Explorers, but not so fast there, Bill. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a tough game for you guys. And so, manage well, my friend. Manage well, man. That's all I got to say about that one.
For who I'm going to pick in this game, I am going to go with the Diablos in this. And the reason why I'm going to go with the Diablos is for a couple of factors. One is Bill even mentioned it himself. The run game he's going to have problem with most likely. We're not going to say that's going to be the case, but Madison Axel leads the league in rushing, and it has not been able to really be stopped in pretty much any game at all this year. I think he's going to be able to run successfully. And with that successful offense running, he'll be able to also open up the pass game. And I think the offense is going to be able to put up a decent amount, score at least 2 or 3 times, when you look at it from that perspective. When you look at the defense of the Diablos, of course, they're without Woolfolk. But with Timothy Staten being able to get back into the lineup, they at least got that edge rusher that can apply that pressure. We've seen some inconsistencies like we did this past week against in the Barons game for Latavian Worrell. And if they are able to generate that pressure and he plays the same way, then it's going to be a long day for the offense, in my opinion. We've seen some inconsistencies also in the run games for the Explorers. It was great last week, but the run game, if they can do it again, they got themselves a good chance. But if the run game is not there against the Diablos, then I really don't see them having a chance to really put that offensive production that they need to outscore the Diablos offense. When you talk about the Diablos, also, this is a team that is just the defense will smug you. The run game they can beat you alone just about with that, and then you also have to worry about at times, which you never know, but most of the time, perfection from Aaron Pritchett. He may not hit you with some high numbers, but he can be efficient down the field to keep offensive drives going, which can hurt the Explorers defense. They got themselves a great secondary, the great linebacker core, I have to say, in my opinion. D-line, like you said, no Tyquil Jones. I think this is a really good Explorers defense, though. But I do feel that the Diablos offense is just a little bit more equipped, and they will be able to move, in my opinion, down the field. The key to success for the Explorers, for me, like I said, is the run game. I really think that the run game, if they can run on Diablo's defense, which we saw get ran on a bit with Timothy Staten there a little bit before he got out, it really was open once Timothy Staten was out and they didn't have either of their premier edge rushers. But if that can thrive and open up everything else for this offense, I think there's a good chance that the Explorers could be able to go neck and neck in a close game and walk out with that victory. And
Can I go on a light tangent real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Just a light one. Hey, Pat, man. I know, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But you guys know me, man. I don't always just look at stats, man. And I'm not gonna say that Madison Axel's stats are cap, because I look back. I saw the stats. I like the stats. I know you statisticians, you stat nerds like all the stats, right? I'm just not an all stat guy, man. I told the guys, and I told the guys in the league office this. I told the guys, look, I would rather face Madison Axel than Tavion Hall in the playoffs. I just like Tavion Hall. I like what Tavion Hall has done. I love, just what he does. I like how fierce he is, and I'm not going to say that Madison Axel is not whatever you guys want him to be. He can be all those descriptive words. So that's my only beef with I'm not trying to take a poo on Madison Axel at all. I recognize what he's done. I just like Tavion Hall. And that's that. Okay, I'm done, Smitty.
Well, honestly, though, I just pulled this up here because, I know you've been sort of catching some flack for that, but let's not also pretend that Tavion Hall didn't have, 65 less carries, yet only 40
Right.
less yards, a full yard more average per carry, 11 more 20-plus yard runs, and 4 more touchdowns. There's nothing wrong with thinking that Tavion Hall is at this point still the superior back.
The thing, just to hop in on that, it wasn't like, and I know Rob realizes this. I think now I kind of felt like the way in which we were talking about it, Rob was like didn't think he was that close to being that good though. At the time. Yeah. But that's the area where
really good.
Yeah, but
that's a great area.
That's the only area in which that I knew what he meant though. Like I knew he didn't know that. He probably thought that he's a great running back, but he himself didn't know the statistics until he looked back at it. But watching the games, like Madison Axel is not that far at all away from Tavion Hall.
But is he? But watching the games, is he as devastating?
Yes.
No.
As Tavion Hall.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
No. If you watch the games, watch every single one of his games.
I'm not trying to discount him. Like,
No,
it's not a slight.
He is just as devastating in my opinion. He may not hit you with the combination of a whole bunch of different animations and trucks and stuff like that.
But that's what we all want to see.
But guess
we
what?
All wanna
he
see,
still
we want to
does
see
that.
the moves.
He still does that in his own way, and is just as dangerous, which is why he was still able to beat him out with the yard. He did miss a week, but I'm just saying that Madison Axel is not.
He missed
at
2
all,
weeks, right?
He was one.
One
Madison
week?
Axel is not at all that far away from Tavion Hall, and he's younger. Let's not forget about that. This guy's 21, so
facts
sky's the limit.
with Pat. Pat just had a fact. I would rather face neither. Amen. Thank you. Amen.
I would rather,
And
but I agree with your statement though. I'd rather face Axel than Hall for real though this year. Yeah,
facts. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I like Jovan
Garrison's
Garrison's comment there, man. I don't know what I got to do to not be an underrated defense, man.
What happened?
No, he just said he thinks the Explorers are the most underrated defense in the league. He said, yeah, I don't know, man. I was like top 2 in the last like 3 years, and I still get discounted in that department.
That's true. That's true, Bill. We'll give you that.
You get discounted on defense.
I get a little discounted on defense. It's all good. I like it.
I mean, let's not extend it. But final game, 8:00. It's the rematch, man. This had to be the final game to close us out for the playoffs in the first round in the wild card. Celtic Tigers and the Cougars. Hey, I'm going to talk to you first, Rob. But, hey, I'm going to ask you, what do you think you have to do to get this job done? And are we going to see Drake Crowell get dropped off in the old folks' home again?
Man, y'all know, man. You know, we're handing out chairs, man. We got chairs for these guys, man. Look. I told you last night, Smitty, man. Last year, I did not think that I could beat the Celtic Tigers. I really game planned heavy for that game against these guys, and for whatever reason, man, the cards were in my favor, and I was really happy about that. This year, I just feel different about the Celtic Tigers, and I realize they had a great season, and that respect to what all the GOAT has done and everything. But I don't know, Smitty, man. I feel like the Cougars, even though we kind of struggled a little bit, I know we lost Woolfolk, and I get it. But I just feel like looking at this Celtic Tiger team that I think that we got them. I don't think defensively they can really hold us down this year, man. You know, I think that might be a field day for the wide receivers, man. Tight ends might get off. I think we're at full strength. We have 0 injuries. You know, O-line's been clicking. We got 2 guys that were, honored, and everything. And it's just, I don't know, man. I just really think that that we really have the best shot to beat CT this year. And so, my breakdown of this year is just going to be, I just feel like this is just going to be Cougars, man. It'll be a hard-fought game because it's going to be in CT. I couldn't imagine what could go wrong, and I'm not going to try to blame the game or anything, man. If it's the Celtic Tigers that are supposed to win this game, then it's the Celtic Tigers that are supposed to win this game. I think I personally feel it'd be an upset if the Celtic Tigers beat us, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and say it. It's going to be an upset if the CT beat us because I feel that personally, I feel like we're just a better team, man. And I respect the Niani, respect the Worsley, respect the Drake Crowell, but the Cougars are just on fire, man. That's just where I'm going with that. And at the same time, I think that, we can get it done in Ireland, man. For again, 2 years in a row, I feel we can get it done there, and it's going to be an interesting game to say the least. But we'll be prepared for it. And last thing, if there's any team that I want to lose to, it's the Celtic Tigers, man. I don't want to lose to any other team, in this league. But I'll lose to the Celtic Tigers because at least I could just say, well, they had the GOAT, Drake Crowell. So there you go. I'm done.
I really feel that this is a game for the Cougars to win. I've said it all year. I said it in the preseason. I said it throughout the, if you want to call it a slump that they went through for a few weeks. This team is, I think, one of the most well-rounded teams in the league, both sides of the conferences here. Like they just, doesn't matter where you look, they have an all-star at the position. And I just, and to add to that, we all know like Dublin's history with the playoffs is just not the greatest. And I'm not even trying to make a joke about it. It's just the flat out truth. And we've seen it since I've been here. I've seen it every year. If they make it, it just seems like they come out as a different team. And I'm just going to go with, what I know. And I know that they haven't been good in the playoffs, and the Cougars have been rather good in the playoffs every year. And so I'm going to go Cougars.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go Cougars here as well. I just see too much inconsistencies with the Celtic Tigers, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Drake Crowell, the offense at times, they've looked really good, but I do see small inconsistencies, but those can become greater with the defensive struggles. I've seen a lot of games in which the Celtic Tigers on the defensive side of the ball have not been able to tackle, which is going to be a problem when facing the Cougars. I've seen a lot of coverage issues with the as great as these wide receivers are for the Cougars. They should be able to eat on the secondary with ease. I think the defense just simply will not be able to handle the firepower of the Cougars offense. And so, at first, I think I voted for the Celtic Tigers to win this matchup, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks ago. But that's when they were looking kind of strong and consistent, maybe about 3 weeks ago, because when they started losing those games, they lost those 2 games before they won their last, that really solidified a lot of inconsistencies, proving itself to me. And I just think they got way too many compared to what the Cougars got. The Cougars are extremely hot right now. Ever since they really started to get on their streak, Geno Gannon's playing better. The defense is playing better. And I think that puts all the pressure on strictly the offense. And the offense at times this year has been inconsistent with their game plan that really hurts them. And what that is just simply not being able to balance it out and run Trey Worsley. They did that even last week in the game against the Armadillos where they won, but they still did not allow Worsley to take the slack off of Drake Crowell. As great as you can be as a quarterback, you can't throw the ball the entire game and show to be one-dimensional. I think that they have a lot of question marks, and the Cougars have a lot of answers to keep them in those question marks, thinking, how are we going to make the right adjustments to move on this team? And for that reason, I really don't see a lot of scenarios at all in which the Celtic Tigers will win this game. The only one that I do see, if possible, for the Celtic Tigers, and this is the only way I can see the Celtic Tigers really winning this game, if Geno Gannon goes on a scramble tear and the defense builds momentum up off of that, gets sacks, forces turnovers from fumbles, if they can do that and Drake Crowell on the offense is clicking, then they can win this game. But if that's not happening, there's no other scenario in which I see the Celtic Tigers winning this. But
Rob.
Salute.
Yeah, can we go out on a limb here? I think Smitty's trying to pull some reverse psychology on us right now.
Oh, the jinx. Yeah, I've been holding my cross over here. I got the candles going. Lito mailed me the Jesus candles and everything. I got the cross over here. I got the powder in there. So it's all he can jinx all he wanted jinx, man. But yeah, we gonna be all right.
No, but never heard him go against them.
That's a real opinion, and I have that's. Despite what people, the trolls, I'm gonna say they're trolls because guys should already know. I speak what's real, what I feel. I've never, in one opinion, ever thought, even when I was talking about Celtic Tigers, as much as I, talk about them, I truly believed what was going on and what I thought was going to happen with them. I thought they were going to dominate teams, which they did.
Yeah.
They went 15-1 last year, right? You don't expect them to lose their first game. So was I really wrong about the team? No, they just got beat by a good team. Every prediction and everything I put out here on this podcast is a true assessment on how I feel about it. So that's my real take. The Cougars should definitely win this game. And I'm not performing no jinx or nothing. Just everything I say, it just happens that sometimes or not. Y'all don't record the things that I say that don't happen. Why do I got to be the jinx guy?
Hey,
maybe I got to stop highlighting.
You just have to deal with it, man.
Hey, I actually kind of like it though. It's kind of cool. If I jinx something that happens, I'd be like, oh, look, that's crazy. Kind of feel like I'm Magic. But yeah, that's it for the first round of the playoffs, man. I'm gonna be posting all this up, of course, on social media for you guys to see. And I knew this would kind of run lengthy in this breakdown with this stuff. We're still going to keep going as expected. And the last two things we're going to get into is stat leaders and then the yearly award
Oh my
winners.
God, I forgot we even had those
Yeah,
guys.
man. So let me make sure that I even got this link because I don't even know what. Let me see. Was it? Okay, yeah, here we go. So first, we're going to get a look at the stat leaders. Beazle made this for me at the last minute, so unfortunately, I don't have the actual statistic of how many yards they got to lead this category. I will just read them off to you. So I will be posted. I think I'm going to get with Bees to add that to this later on. But for the passing yards leader in the RFL period is Reed Wagner. Reed Wagner finishes the season with 5,113 passing yards on the season, the most passing yards of the year.
Ooh,
Yeah, and this guy just consistently always seems to put up big yards. What I want to do as we're going through this, man, just give you little tidbits about these players as we go through them. So I think I don't want to go by someone too fast, you know what I'm saying? So thoughts on Reed Wagner leading the league here?
stellar player, doesn't shock me at all, man. Great player, great team, great coach.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it's not really unexpected to see him at this with this top of the list for the passing yards. He's got such an amazing receivers, and he's got a cannon for an arm, and we know he likes to take risks. And I'm not surprised to see him up here, man. It's just, to me, and this is just going back to what we talked about before, is like, it's really crazy though to think about how this guy is leading the league in passing yards, and yet we're still saying that he's been somewhat under par this year. That just goes to show how good he really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Just always year in and year out, just ton of yards through the air. I got a feeling like this guy is going to be leading for a while all-time passing yards when it's all said and done. Just because of the amount of yards that he's able to put up every week in the way that Coach Jones runs that offense. Very pass-heavy, been a top passing offense for years. Moving on to the next leading category, Dre Crowell finishing his career here with the most passing touchdowns in the RFL. He was second last season with 41, which was a career high for him. And with this 34, he finishes at the top of the list. And Reed Wagner was above him with 43 last season. And this year, it's kind of like reverse, where Dre Crowell led in yards last season and Wagner had the touchdowns. And now it's flipped as Dre Crowell was second in passing yards, just like Reed Wagner was, over 5,000 yards with 5,015. I don't think it's really too much to say about this here, but I mean, I'll propose a question. Did you expect him to lead the league in passing yards though this year?
Oh,
passing
no, not at
touchdowns.
all.
I mean,
I didn't expect him to lead this year. I thought that it'd be a decline in Corral, but he always proves us wrong, man. He seems just keeps getting. It's like he keeps getting better with age, but we all know he's regressing. It's just odd. I don't get it. But yeah, great job here.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's surprising and not surprising. Surprising because sort of what Rob was saying, but I mean, at the same time, we all know this guy is like a secret agent assassin when it comes to finding guys open for touchdowns. Man, he always seems to find the right guy. I did, however, think because of the play of Worsley that he wouldn't have as high of passing numbers, but it's really not that surprising. It's just I thought maybe other factors would play into him not being the top guy.
Yeah. Moving on to the next leader, rushing yards. Madison Axel was just talking about him. He finishes the season with 1,852 rushing yards on the season. Madison Axel's just a youthful running back that just is really in his prime early. This is only his second year in the RFL, 21 years old. And the explosion and progression of this guy, I think, has just been amazing. And he's going to be a top back in the league for the future for years to come. That's for sure.
Hey, great halfback, man. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see all of his games this season. And I definitely will go back because like I said, I've been hearing a lot of things from the guys, and I don't want to miss out on this history. So I will be binge watching some Axel probably this summer. But that's just a tremendous award to get and accomplishment. And I just got to say hats off. And he couldn't have been doing it for a better franchise, man. So salute to Madison Axel.
I'm not really too surprised to see this, man. Like we saw this flash from him last year before he got hurt, and I said, all preseason, like this kid is special. He's just got to be healthy, and he was, like he might not be like I know that he's very flashy. He's a great game changer, but I just like Rob was saying before, sometimes you just don't see the crazy highlight reel moves and stuff out of him, which is I think why the whole Tavion Hall debate and stuff happens. But he's so consistent and so reliable that, and he can give it to you whichever way you'd like. I mean, he can truck you, he can make you miss. He's viable in any aspect of the game, and the huge reason that the Diablos are on this tear right now. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they had such a down year last year, and this year they're playing so much better. And the only real difference in the team, of obviously the coaching too, but is Axel is being healthy. He's a backbone. I think we're looking at the future face of the running back room in the RFL. And yeah, I mean he's deserving of it, and it's not really that surprising to me that he got to this point.
And with the 1,852 yards, he finishes second all time with the most rushing yards in a single season, behind Darius Martin from season 4 with 1,971 yards. So phenomenal season by Madison Axel. Yeah. Wow. Moving on to rushing touchdowns leaders, Dre Shivers and Langford Cloud. It was almost like a battle between these two all season, just going the same amount of touchdowns each week. And then they finish with the league's high of 19 this season. It was 15 last year. That was a tie between Trey Worsley and Tavion Hall. But Dre Shivers and Langford Cloud, two veterans who've been here since season 1 in the original, ARC conference, is just still showing that they are dynamic in the backfield.
Yeah, two just imposing backs in the ARC. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting either one of these guys this season, and I'm very happy about that. And so, I've had some. I think I've had some issues out of Dre Shivers before. I don't know if I've actually ever played Langford Cloud, but I'll tell you, just watching both of these guys and calling games from these guys, man, these are some top backs here. And so, just hats off to them, man. Great job.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm not shocked at all to see Shivers at the top of this list. I didn't know Cloud was hanging with him the whole way this close, because Shivers has just been killing it with the touchdown department all year, but it doesn't surprise me, man. Cloud and Shivers, both of these guys are feature backs in their offense and big reasons that their team succeeds, and it's not surprising to me at all.
Great job by those two backs right there. Moving on to the next stat leader, it is Matt Nayani. He was second in receiving yards last season, just under Romeo Jackson. Now he's on top this season. He almost had the same amount of yards he had last year, finishing in the top 10 once again in the record books, as he's number 4, just underneath season 5, as I mentioned, with 1,569 yards.
Yeah, it looks like him and Matt Jones got the same dad, man. Let me stop playing. Anyway, man, that's off the Matt Nayani, man. This is a crazy wide receiver. When I was coaching this guy, I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I could not figure out how to get this guy the ball, man. Great talent. And we saw him do some things this year. I'm just gonna tell you like this: one-on-one down the field, hey, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Moss time, man. I really do like this guy. And it's just good to see him still doing it at his age. Great job.
I don't like this guy, man. This dude had to steal the spotlight from CJ this year. Man, it's just not even fair with the Dublin guys, man. They just all just dominate everything like this, man. But no, in all seriousness, Nayani's been this way for years, and it's not surprising to see him up here. I'm just salty that he took a graphic from CJ, so don't mind me.
Yeah, that was just another back-to-back season where he's just been in connection with Dre. But I think the thing that makes him so unique is the size and the speed. This guy's 6'5", over 230 pounds, and he's scary fast. So it's just like, it's nothing that this guy can't do that you need out of a wide receiver. If you have no one open, just throw it up to him. Dre's pretty much been doing that the last 2 years, and it's been working out. Sometimes not with the under throws, but Matt Niani's just go get it wide receiver, man. Makes plays any day of the week. Moving on, Roland Woods leading and receiving touchdowns in the RFL. Tom Wilson and he really connecting well this year. Once again, back where they were from 2 seasons ago in his rookie year. 13 receiving touchdowns he finished with. That's the same amount that Elijah Bentley had to lead the league last season.
Man, that's a big deal for Roland Woods. All I can do is do round of applause, man. Great job right there, and that's probably about where. I just really have liked his. I've really liked this wide receiver for a long time, and I really hope that he just continues to progress and become a much better, devastating wide receiver here in the league.
Yeah, I'm pretty much echoing what Rob just said, man. Like we know the kind of game changer and game breaker he's been in the past. He had the down year last year, but man, he's such a difference maker to this team and to Tom Wilson. And we saw him dominate so many games, and it's not surprising for me to see him here. He knows what to do with the ball when it's in his hands. He knows how to find his way to the end zone, and one of the top receivers in the league, hands down.
Excellent. Moving on to the next stat leader. Oh, did I press the right one? There we go. Okay. Marshall Levi, the tight end of the Crusaders. And Rob's already saying, oh, man, he knows about this guy.
Yeah.
Led the RFL in receptions with 113. He's in the record books, too, with, let me see here. 113. Third all-time for the most receptions in a single season, underneath with Rennie Shropshire with 114 and Sean McClure of the Red Dragons with 117.
Yeah, man. Well, I already got the nickname for my guy here, man. His name is already Marshall, man. He got the yellow on like a sheriff. We got to call him Colt 45, man. You know, I'm trying to tell you right now, this guy's locked and loaded, man. Marshall Colt 45. Lilo Mix has gone ahead and given you a nickname, man. I'm not sure if that's a user or not, but hey, this guy, when I call this guy's games, bro, I'm always saying this guy's name, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, really like this guy. I actually was looking at his receptions and everything. Man, he's been having an amazing year. And big shout out to Coach Bachagalupi, man. He probably thinks nobody pays attention, but yeah, I've been wanting to call him Colt 45 for a long time. So there it goes. Marshall Colt 45, Leli, put it in the books.
I like it.
He's just a guy that you don't really expect to be good. And it's just like he has just that innate ability to find ways to get open and make plays, and some strong hands to follow up with it, because he's not the fastest. He's not the most polished route runner. He's not the tallest or the strongest, but he finds ways all the time to just make plays. And sometimes, I mean, those are the guys that are the most dangerous. The guys that, you know, I might not be able to beat you off the line. I might not be able to beat you on the out route, but you know what? I know exactly where to go. I know every little trick in the trades to get the positioning I need, and he does it very well.
Excellent job. Just great job getting over. I completely agree with what you said there, Bill. I mean, this guy's been a 70-something his whole career, and he did this last season. You know, we didn't expect this guy. He just came out of nowhere. I think last season was his first year out of free agency or something like that, and dude just popped onto the scene. Receptions machine right here. Excellent season for Marshall Levi. Leading in tackles, this is an RFL season record. Most tackles for any player in the RFL in a single season. That was broken by Reggie Craig. We posted about this on social media. 174 tackles and on this Gunners defense. This guy, honestly, not really known like that. You know, I don't really remember calling his name often in prior seasons before this. But, you know, he just got the job done on the defense, and the defense that struggled this year, so he got a lot of opportunities to make tackles. But, you know, he's just seemed to always be where the ball was. And, of course, he's got a picture, so he must have been doing something. That's a great season here for Reggie Craig.
Yeah, man. Smitty, I'm not sure if you ever accidentally want to call this guy him, man, but sometimes I want to call him Roger Craig. I don't know if you remember who that was. But
Doesn't he play for the 49ers?
Yeah, 49ers. Yeah. Sometimes, obviously not a fullback or a running back, but
He's like a safety.
But Roger Craig, well, I thought he played back for a while.
Yeah, he
I'm
played
not sure if he.
fullback.
It was
Yeah,
fullback?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, man. Man, this guy, I've seen this guy too, and it's the guys you don't really talk about a lot. And I see Reggie Craig come up a lot on the screen, and just watching him ball, I'm not surprised because it's always like R. Craig tackle, So just to see this right here does not shock me at all. It's actually good to actually see him get some recognition as well. Definitely a standout player for the Gunners.
Yeah, I mean, we know that this Gunners defense has been playing pretty well this year. Better than what we thought they were going to play, even though they didn't have a great of season. But it's not because of the defense, and Craig is really one of the main reasons for that. Just a guy that you can rely to be around the ball anytime that that running back breaks through the first line of defense. Getting to the blitz, getting to the lanes to stop the running from even coming through. And it's one of those things that goes a little unnoticed because tackles are just of course you just made the play when the guy was there, but it's who knows how many touchdown saving plays were made by a guy like Reggie Craig because he's just swarming the ball consistently every play, every time he's out there on the field.
And what I'll say here is, Coach Carter, calm down, man. this ain't Roland Carter up here. This is Reggie Craig, so we got to talk about him. But Reggie Craig breaking the record, and the previous record holder was the season 1 original defensive standard linebacker, Tyrone Brennan. We already know that guy is a future Hall of Famer for the Voyagers. He had a $173 tackles, and Craig just able to notch that by a tackle. We'll get to Roland Carter later on here, Coach Carter. But just a fantastic season for Reggie Craig. Moving on to the next record. This is a 3-way tie, guys. Can you believe this? 3 guys tied in sacks in the RFL. Calvin Lunsford, who had his final game 7.5 sacks to get it. Dylan Cutler, who was high at one point in sacks, and then he kind of cooled off, but he's still at the top. And Marvin Woolfolk, who had 5 sacks with the Cougars, once traded with the Diablos. It's like the guy got even better. The guy had 12 sacks afterwards. And all of these defensive linemen tied up for the most sacks this season with 17.
Yeah, well, respect to Calvin Lunsford and Dylan Cutler, man. If Marvin Wolford wouldn't have got injured, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But hey, still no shade to these guys over here. This is just a great combination of guys, man. These all. Oh, wait, I can't ask you that yet. But all these guys are awesome ballers, man. Awesome ballers, and definitely don't want them hitting your quarterback, man. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, and I just got a little something to add here, and I'm sure this can be said for other dudes, but man, Cutler got sort of what out of some of these sacks here, right? There was some games where he literally is the guy who sacked the quarterback, and some dude ran past and touched a dude's cankle and got credit for half a sack. All right, so man, and then Lunsford just comes along and just ruins it, and just like, I'm gonna get 8 sacks in a game. You know what, man? You should have been more consistent. No, I'm just playing around, but no, all of these guys are huge difference makers on the team, and you can look at these 3 guys, and you look at the logos on their helmets, and it's no shock that those 3 logos are also associated with 3 of the better defenses in the league right now. Pass rush is king. Without them, a team can falter on defense, and these guys are big reasons why their squads are playing really well on that side of the ball.
And all 3 in the playoffs. Woolfolk will have to hold on if the Diablos can get a dub. Hopefully he'll be able. Well, I ain't gonna say that because Bill's up here. But just a fantastic season. I'm really more so excited that Woolfolk. This is a guy we haven't had the Pro Bowl came up, but we're pretty sure he's going to make the Pro Bowl. He got traded, and this is a cross conference because the league is split into 2 files. This guy still makes the Pro Bowl. When did you trade for him, Bill? Rob?
It was like week 8.
Week 8.
Trade deadline. Yeah.
Trade deadline, he trades this guy away, and he's still within that time, without his stats from the ARC side.
Tripled his stats.
Tripled and made his play his spot. That's just ridiculous. And like Rob said, if he had not got injured, He might have
Yeah, he
been the
would have
only
been down.
guy on this
Yeah,
list right now. That's just
yeah.
incredible. And moving on, interceptions. Zach Walters breaks the all-time record for the most interceptions in a single season. The interception record was held originally by Len Mayberry. Actually, it was a kind of a tie back in season 2. 3 guys had 8 interceptions that year. It was Zachary Dombrowski, Len Mayberry, and Carlos Gint. Zach Walters breaks that with 9 interceptions this year. This is a 77 overall cornerback, I think it was, coming into this league out of nowhere from free agency, and he absolutely just balled out. And I got a lot I could say about him, but it's just that's all I can say. Is just a shocker. Guy just came out and showed that he's the real deal.
Yeah, I feel your sentiment as well. I've just started paying more attention to Zach Walters, just from calling the games and the games that I did see. This guy means business. He's everywhere on the field, making great plays on the ball. Very fast, very smart. Lots of play recognition on him, and he definitely showed off and showed out this season. Man, great job by Zach Walters.
And yeah, just to add to that, man, like this defense, we knew heading into the regular season that these guys, for some reason, man, they just had some dogs in the secondary and they were ready to pounce. And Walters is one of those guys. I think I expected more, out of some of the other guys on the defense. But hey, man, you get what you get, and you got to take you're just gonna sometimes get these players that come out of nowhere and shock you. And Zach Walters did that, and I'm curious to see if they can build off of this or not, if it's a little too late for him to become a household name, just because I know he's not the youngest guy. But, heck of a year. Like I said before, Gunner's defense was playing rather well most of the season, so it's a shame to see that the offense sort of let him down. But, it's something to build off of for next year, and they got 2 good ones here now, including Zach Walters.
Smitty, I want to add this real quick because I see Mitch had put the 85 speed in there, and we
Yeah, I was
talked
just
about
to
this
say that,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. And Smitty, you may feel the same way. I don't know if you're gonna say the same thing, but I have this suspicion, man, that speed doesn't mean everything.
It doesn't.
And that sometimes kind of if a safety or a cornerback is a little bit slower than everybody else on the field, he's seeing the play in slow motion, and this is allowing him to react very fast. You know what I'm saying, to certain things and not over pursue the ball or run past defenders and all this stuff, man. And I'm gonna leave that right there and see what Smitty has to say about this.
And this goes to what I always say. What do I always say about Madden? It's a situational game, right?
Yeah.
He's in the situation. Like, you could be fast and be put in a situation to succeed. You could be slow and be put in a situation to succeed. He was just in a lot more situations that they tried him because he was slow. The rest of his attributes in those situations was able to make him this dynamic of a shutdown cornerback. So do not assume just because a player is slow that they're going to get cooked. This ain't Madden 17 when we saw that happening just about all the time on press. It's not happening like that anymore. Zach Walters, and there's a couple other slow cornerbacks in this league that do strap up. Zach Walters, though, just played on a whole nother level than what we've seen in years before. And, it's just crazy seeing this guy make the acrobatic plays that he was able to make and still be able to succeed the way he was. So I think guys need to start not only putting more respect on Zach Walters' name, but on the slow cornerbacks' names out there, because those guys, they be making plays too. And
yeah, like DeAndre Cummings.
yeah,
Mitchie.
that Mitch be hating on for no reason. He can't even give me a reason on why he hates him. But and the final stat leader of this, we usually don't throw this in, but I just want to throw it in there because, oh, no, it's not. Okay, we got one after this. Forced fumbles, Stephen Daly. This is nowhere near the forced fumbles in a single season record in which we got last season with Garrison Ash, but he was a different breed that season with 18. Stephen Daly was the only one to lead the league this season in that category, though, with 4. That's a whole 14 less.
Is this a PS4? Is this a PS4 picture?
That's the only one we can find out the photos, man. It was crazy, man. Yeah, this was current gen.
Got you. Current gen. We're all foggy.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen Daly's awesome, man. That's all I got to say about that one.
Yeah, beast linebacker.
Yeah.
I guess Dublin gets something good going for him, yeah. I mean, I didn't know even he was the league leader in the fumbles category, but If anybody on that defense is going to stand out, it was going to be Stephen Daly. He's been there since I can remember, and always has been like that. That main guy on defense for him. So hats off to him.
Yeah, he's just been one of those sneakily quiet, good linebackers. Every year he just seems to be. And last season, he fell one tackle short of the tackle record too, with 172. He has 169 this year, which was still up there. And with the forced fumbles, just goes to show you what type of linebacker this is. He's getting older, but still playing great. One of those original ballers still left in the league, man. Great season once again for Stephen Daly. Moving on to the final one. This was the one I was talking about. Kick return touchdowns. We got to start respecting these returners. Marquise Parsons. And both of his kick return. Marquez. Yeah, my bad. That's definitely Marquez Parsons led the RFL in kick return touchdowns total, and both of these happened in RFL games, so they are legit stats. He had 2 kick return touchdowns, and they were key. One of them he won in a game winner. I think this is the most dangerous kick returner this season in the RFL, and of course he has the stats with the 2 returns to prove that.
Is this the one where I blacked out? I was talking and he just returned one.
I think he was the one who ran through like a whole pile and just came out of nowhere through the pile. And won the game for the Miners. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that was against the Dreadnoughts. I can't remember. It's crazy though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome stat line, man.
Yeah, we don't know.
I just think that these guys, Madden. I mean, it's just it just doesn't happen too often,
Mm-hmm.
Like in Madden, it's just not a very common thing to see kick returns happen. So for a guy to get 1 is big, but to get 2 of them, that's whoa.
In both in RFL games, we got
so
some guys.
And that's half the time. That's 12 games. So yeah,
that's crazy. But we are going to go to the final segment. I know this is a lengthy one, guys, but hey, we knew it was going to be, and that is the yearly award winners. Now we will show you guys who won the award. Excuse me. We can keep it brief here with these guys. If we talked about the guy already, then just say it's the same thing or whatever. But if it's somebody new, you want to talk about them, go ahead and get that done. But let's go ahead and start first with the ARC side. You want to know why? Because they won the Pro Bowl. But we'll start with the quarterback of the year of the ARC, and Dre Crowell for the 2nd consecutive year in a row will come out on top with that one. I believe we've already said our piece about Dre Crowell. Still just outstanding to see him at this age still be able to win this award and have the season that he had, just still showing out the GOAT status, man. That's all I can say about that.
Great job, man. Great job.
You ain't got nothing, Bill?
Oh, I thought we just said that if we talked about it, we were just going to go on.
I was just saying, I don't know. I'm just making sure, what I'm saying?
My bad.
No, you don't have to say nothing. But
okay.
Moving on to the next award, Best Running Back of the ARC, and that is David Jones, man. This guy was the entire offense, I'd have to say, of the Brooklyn Bulls, man. This guy did everything. Catch the ball, run the ball. And it was absolutely outstanding. Whenever they couldn't get anything going, it was just like you could not stop number 34, David Jones. Shout out to Chrome Man for best running back in the ARC.
Hey, shout out to you, Chrome Man. Work.
Yeah, I think I was saying this all year, man. David Jones is the only thing that Brooklyn seemed to be able to do right on offense at the time, and it's unfortunate that a player like that ends up in a situation where it doesn't matter how good they are, they just can't seem to really help the situation. So I'm really hoping that next year this team can shine through, because man, it sucks seeing a great player like this, like I said, not really be able to benefit from his hard work all the time. But nonetheless, great job for David Jones.
Very consistent player for the Bulls right there, that's for sure. Every year. Moving on to the next award, Best Wide Receiver, and it's pretty obvious who this should be for the ARC. Led the league in receiving yards. Matt Niani, unstoppable wide receiver this year. And that's all we can really say about it. I mean, just outstanding play, unguardable, can catch it in a pile. He can run routes, separate. He can beat the double team, and he's got a great quarterback to throw in the ball. Matt Niani, another year, he wins it. Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the let me see. I gotta move this around sometimes, and it makes me pick the wrong thing. So that's why I gotta be careful. Come on now. All right. Next, offensive lineman of the year. Now, I mean, we give it to him, and I guess it's understandable because you got higher overall linemen playing in the Pro Bowl. But I guess DeMarcus the Great, he gave up. I think he led the team in sacks given up this year, which is crazy. But he did have Anthony Savoy scrambling, and for linemen scrambling quarterbacks, that's hard to block for. But DeMarcus the Great, once again, I think this is probably his third or fourth year in a row winning offensive lineman of the year, and it's pretty much based off of overall. So not really much to say about that except for what I mentioned. Anything you guys want to say about the Great? Or
just a great lineman, man. Very difficult to scheme against and get around when you're trying to get pressure to the quarterback, and that's the reason why he's up here.
Yeah, he's the great lineman,
should we play a bell for that? Was that good enough, guys?
That's a bell. That's a bell.
That's a bell.
That's a bell, Bill. That's a bell.
bell.
Guys are
Rob?
haters right now.
He says he's the great.
Yeah.
Who's he, Mario?
Hating the greatness.
He sounds like Frankie to me with that Edgar thing.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to the next one, we're going to defense. And starting on the D-line for defensive lineman of the year, it's Calvin Lunsford. Of course, the guy who broke the record for the most sacks in a single game with 7.5 will be up here, still getting better with age, about to touch the big 30 after this season. The guy's just always been a monster every year for the Black Knights. If there's one guy you got to worry about on that defense, it is always big number 99. Beast.
Yeah, beast, man. He made himself stick out with that last game, man.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think, to be honest with you guys, I didn't think anybody was going to be able to touch that 6 record or at least tie it. But when I saw 7.5, I was like, wow, this guy really did that. That's going to be hard to break right there. Moving on to the next award for the ARC, Linebacker of the Year. And the award goes to, I'm supposed to play the cheers, but here we go. Adam Okoye, linebacker for the Voyagers.
Cap.
Used to play safety, moved to linebacker, and the guy absolutely excelled, winning best at the position this year. I mean, this guy was just all over the place last season, made a ton of huge plays, really started out the year hot, and he still was kind of consistent in his play despite the inconsistency of the team as a whole. Adam Okoye, I would have to say probably the most improved player over the last couple of years that I've seen that's shown on the field.
Oh yeah, man. This guy's true impact performer here, and man, Dreadnought's gonna have their hands full in this game versus this guy, man. Just amazing talent, man. It's just unreal what coach has been able to do with this guy, especially with the move to linebacker.
Yeah, I know I talked about the offense before when I was giving my predictions with the wild card game, but man, more than half of my reasoning for riding with the Voyagers is a lot to do with this guy alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And the next award after this, guys, I know what's his name is going to be salty about this. But why am I blanking on his name? Kicker.
Chrome?
Not Chrome. You just named it Michael Floater. Yeah, Floater the Goater.
Floater?
Unfortunately, we don't have a graphic for the kickers because the kickers who won the award, there was no pictures for these guys. So the kicker awards is dead. We'll just have to, get that later.
Who won kicker?
Alan James won it for the NRC, and then Tyrus Wiley won it for the ARC for the Celtic Titans.
Man. Then
all right, Chrome.
the CTs just got the voting session just in their back pocket. Don't they?
If you're the top offense in the league, they finished at the top with statistically.
Chrome was leading that until I set my start. Until I set everybody on against the Red Dragons, and we didn't get enough points, man.
Tyrus Wiley been on top of that for weeks.
No,
Yeah, bro.
It's not true.
Yeah,
it's not true, man.
Yeah, it's true, bro. I'm telling you, he was on there since like week 10.
I remember looking he's watching the kickers like this.
Yes, I was.
Nah, man,
I definitely knew he was on there because it was way back when I saw him leading.
Wait, hold on a second. We got to look at this because I could have sworn Chrome was up there.
You can go back. I put that on everything. You can go back if there's a way to do it. Go back and look at it. That dude was. I got
to look at these guys' stats, man, because I know they was neck and neck, man. And I know when I set Chrome down. Now I didn't sit Chrome. I set my starters, and he didn't get the kicks that he would have gotten if we had the offensive production. And that's when he he went out of that. But all right, if you say so.
Yeah, dude was on top the whole time from what I saw. That's just what I was seeing. But I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the positional awards. Actually, no. Best defensive back of the year for the ARC is Carlos Gent, man. Shout out to the Voyagers once again. Another player when taking home an award. Had 6 interceptions this season. And, he was pretty instrumental for this Voyagers defense, coming up with big plays and turnovers at the right time. You got anything to say about Gent?
Hey, beast.
All right.
Yeah, I mean he's part of the reason that the Voyagers defense was playing so well this year. I mean, it's Okoye probably helped him out in the backfield a little bit there with getting some of those nice looks, but he's just a really solid dude, man.
And now that's going to be it for the positional awards for the ARC. We're now going to move on to the main awards. This one's going to start off with the rookies, though. So the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the ARC goes to Geno Gannon, quarterback of the Cougars. And we kind of expected to see this happen, man. Like, this is what we talked about that we thought was going to be who we thought was going to be the winner between either he or Marquise Washington. Washington was right behind him. But Geno Gannon really came in and showed and lived up to all the expectation. And you usually don't see that, but he did it.
Beast. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
It wasn't really surprising to see after he had the sacks, he had some fumbles, but just so like electric with the ball, whether it's passing or throwing, and some of the passes he made, it's just crazy to see.
Yeah, amazing rookie season here for Geno Gannon. Now for Defensive Rookie of the Year for the ARC, that goes to, it's time to get excited, Coach Carter, for your boy, Roland Carter. Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was 1 tackle shy of the record. He tied the record originally with Tyrone Brennan, 173 total tackles. It seemed like everywhere the ball was, this guy was making all the plays, coming in as a rookie. Just was he lived up to expectations, because I remember him in the college series playing for UCF. This guy did the exact same thing there that he did here. All over the place, tackling machine, beast, like Rob says.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad that he got this, man. Because Carter's gonna definitely remind you, man, about this guy right here, Roland Carter, man. He's gonna let you know, hey, my guy, man, my guy. We see it, man. Congratulations to Roland Carter, man, beast.
Yeah, every time I watch a Black Knights game, he just leaps off of the screen at you. He's just everywhere, so it's definitely deserving.
And this is a guy whose rookie season, Coach Carter immediately just gave the captain role to. And, didn't even know he was going to have this type of season. I think he did. And paid off, man. Paid off. Absolutely phenomenal year. Trying to maneuver this. Okay, and now we'll move on to the big awards for the ARC, starting with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I said rookie. Offensive Player of the Year. And that award goes to Geno Gannon once again, winning 2 awards. And he is, if I'm not mistaken, the first rookie to ever win Offensive Player of the Year award in the RFL. Guy is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely.
Beast. That's all I gotta say.
Already gave our talk about Geno Gannon, man. Moving on for Defensive Player of the Year for the ARC. The winner is Adam Okoye. He'll be taking home his second award for the Voyagers here. You already talked about him. Guy's an absolute stud, tackle all over the place, and just a playmaker. What'd you say?
I call him 40 Glock. Locked and loaded too,
Might
man.
be getting a little bit too ratchet.
Oh, my bad. Too bad. Sorry, guys.
All right.
Simmer down. Sit down, mix.
And for the biggest conference award of the season, this is for ARC MVP of the RFL, and it goes to Geno Gannon. This guy wins MVP, the first rookie ever to win MVP in the RFL for the conference. I mean, what do you think about that? I'm almost stuck on what to say, but what do you guys think about that? Him winning MVP in his first year, first guy to ever do that.
Go ahead, Bill.
I just think that it's not really it's not that surprising. Like, okay, you can say that, you know, his passing numbers, like his amount of stats isn't the highest, but add in the running he does and the way he commanded the offense and really the focal point of the offense in every scenario this year, it's hard not to say that he's the most valuable player on his team for, you know, for the offense. Like, so we all know it's an offensive position, right? It's defense never gets given the opportunity to win that. So it's a no-brainer. You know, you can say Drake Crowell, yeah, he had an amazing season passing the ball, but he wasn't an all-around dual threat like that. So it's and it makes sense to me why Gino gets it.
Yeah, man, it's been a long season, fellas. And I'm not gonna keep it long. I'm just gonna say, man, my man is a beast. And big salute to everybody, thick and thin, man, who supported him. And I know it, man. 75 sacks, and he hands in 3 awards, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
And it's
Hey, we got
amazing.
a commercial dropping at the end of this too. I'm about to drop it right now. Just let y'all know.
Oh, well,
The commercial's dropping on IGTV for
well,
the
well,
Cougars. Go ahead,
well,
go ahead.
I would wait till after the awards. I can't
After
explain
the
it now.
pod?
Yeah, I can't explain it now after the
Okay.
awards. I can't explain it now, but yeah, because
All right.
But yeah, Geno Cannon. Another statement on why this is a huge award for him, because second in this award was Drake Crowell, bro. Like, you know, like this guy had over 5,000 passing yards, led the league in passing touchdowns. But that goes to show you just how great Geno Gannon is going to be for this league, that he beats him out despite those statistics. And he had more touchdowns than Drake Crowell with 35 total, with 25 through the air, only threw 3 interceptions in his rookie year, which is just amazing. And 10 rushing touchdowns, almost became the 4th quarterback ever to rush for 1,000 yards, just fell short by 7 yards. Maybe that's ironic from the jersey number, I don't know. But Geno Gannon, man, a phenomenal season, phenomenal season.
Yeah.
I didn't peep that until just now.
What?
7 yards short, 7 on his jersey.
Oh, yeah, I
Conspiracy.
know, man. Conspiracy theory.
But
7 reload bowls.
901. And so that's it for the ARC award winners. Let's go to the NRC award winners. First, starting off with the quarterback of the year, and that award goes to Chase Mason. Chase Mason,
Oh, man.
the old sheriff, the veteran
yes.
leading the Desperados and #1 seed in the NRC. This guy takes home the award. There's so much I could say about him, man. It's just the way that he plays. It's just, he's just a seasoned veteran. It seems like even ever since he came, we saw this when he was with the Monarchs. You know, he was the original starter for the Monarchs, played 3 seasons there. The Desperados traded for him, took the spot of Eric Fisher, never looked back. And it was just like, now they are just clicking even more than ever before with Chase Mason under the helm. A lot of teams try to take away the run game of the Desperados this year, thinking that, oh, Chase Mason can't beat us. And a lot of teams failed by underestimating how just specific and accurate that Chase Mason can be at the quarterback position, dotting up defenses. Anything gets open with this guy, he's attacking, man. Absolute beast, deserving of the award.
Yeah, and there's this guy here. You know, I'd called it earlier in the season that I thought that the Desperados were going to be a great team, and I know I talk a lot about Tavion Hall and you know, this team, and you know, Cecil and all those guys. But I'm just going to be honest, man. The play of Chase Mason is also a reason for the success of the Desperados. You know, this guy, limits the mistakes, moves the ball around very well. He's got some weapons, and he's got a good running game, and he's just a solid quarterback to have in any system. And I really like Chase Mason as the QB of the year, man. Great job by the Austin Desperados.
Yeah, I mean, between everything you guys said, it pretty much hits a nail on the head for me, man. It's just, he's just been playing phenomenal this year.
Yeah, very consistent quarterback. That's all I can say about that. And we got another Desperado winning this award, best running back of the year, Tavion Hall. And this is crazy because Madison Axel was there, and Coach Forbes very upset about this. He thought Axel had it in the bag, led the league in rushing, but Tavion Hall, as Bill brought up, talking about, he had more touchdowns and everything else. This guy was just the ultimate running back in the league. This is only his 2nd year in the RFL. He won running back of the year last season, led the league in rushing yards last season as well. Just falls underneath by like 27 yards of Axel. So this guy, well deserving of the award. Thoughts on Tavion Hall? Anything else you guys want to bring up about this beast?
You guys know how I feel, man. Then you said 27 yards.
Yeah, 27 yards short of Madison Axel. Yep.
I was gonna do the conspiracy theory, but it's 26 on his jersey.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh,
Bill just killed me with that. Oh man.
Hey, Tavion Hall, man, love this guy, man. Big salute to you, Tavion Hall. I know he's a league. Is it paid gang in the chat? I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah, big shout out to Tavion Hall, man. Really love that guy. Really into his character, and he's really into the RFL. Salute.
Yeah, same. It's the one thing that really sticks out to me is like I said again, I like both of these running backs, but it does speak to something that this guy has, 2-3 games worth of carries less than the guy he's only like 40-50 yards short than, or 20, what did you say, 20 yards short?
Yeah, he's 27 yards short, but he only is a
That's-
game and a half that he was lower. But still, I think he would have surpassed Axel with that.
That's
game.
what I'm saying though. Like he had like 2 to 3 games, 2 to 3 games worth of less carries because like he has like 60 to 70
okay, I get
carries
what you're
less.
saying,
So
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like that's like 3 full games of carries that he was short by, but still was that close to him. So that it's just he's such a game breaker, man. It's no surprise here.
Excellent player, man. Second year, man. Still youthful. The running backs are about to be crazy in the RFL. Moving on to the next award, wide receiver of the NRC goes to Kark Jaguar, Condors wide receiver. Rob was just talking about him.
Yep.
Sneaky good wide receiver, man. He's always been top flight guy for Chase Mason and Chase McCoy, excuse me. And I could already see that Rob's fired up. His guy got that, man. What you guys say about Kark Jaguar?
Man, this guy, is another guy. That's why I was saying earlier about coaches, teams needing coaches, and I just don't think that the AI is managing Sacramento as well as it could, as well as maybe a coach who knows what he's doing could. I can't speak enough about Kark Jaguar, man. Like this guy is like people like this guy. First of all, this guy's like 27 or 28, whatever he is, and he's like a 95, 96 overall. People wouldn't really know that, because of the way the computer is like utilizing him. And I think that he could be even way better than he really is. I don't remember what he came off as far as his receptions goes, but I stopped counting somewhere around like 75 receptions on the year. I don't remember where he's at currently, but I mean, geez, like just massive, you know what I'm saying? And then I think he had double digits in touchdowns as well. I really like this wide receiver. Definitely, I'm not gonna say slept on, but a lot of people don't know about Kark Jaguar.
He's
man.
definitely slept on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Good. So slept on.
He is slept on.
He's
I
a
have to
monster,
say it.
man.
And people
Yeah.
he's just one of those guys who just because of the team doesn't get talked about a lot. But
Yeah.
for guys who were here back when the NRC first got expanded, he was the first wide receiver to ever win this award. So he's been consistently good for this team, regardless.
Yeah.
So Kark Jaguar, one of those guys, a name you should get to know because he is an absolute beast and deserving of this award. Congratulations to Kark Jaguar, second time winning that. And on to our next award, Offensive Lineman of the Year, going to go to Deion Gunn. Once again, this is an overall thing. But Deion Gunn, he's a beast there on the tackle spot, man, for protecting Wakefield.
Yep, and you can just see how impressive Benedict was running behind Big Boy. So there
Right.
it is.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, that's a really good comment to make. 'Cause, I mean, maybe that is part of the reason why Benedict was able to make such a big impact.
And that's
So
another
900 yards in 7 and 8 weeks.
and I was just going to say, that's another thing to think about. Sometimes we look at these guys. I know it's mainly overall, but if you see, they gave up a ton of sacks or something, but they might be extremely good in the run game. Like setting up blocks, like Rob was just saying. So I did see a lot of that on his side. Like Deion Gunn was just absolutely dominating. Maybe it could have been the same exact thing for DeMarcus DeGreat too. The run game with CJ Bobo was great as well. So I think this is a lineman that I could say is deserving of the award. And congrats to him. Moving on, we go to the defensive side of the ball. For defensive lineman of the year in the NRC goes to another Crusader, and that's Stephen Wilcox. This guy's still older and getting it done. Man, he had the record for the most sacks in a single game until it was broke literally the last week of this season by Calvin Lunsford with 7.5. But this guy, I think he's over 30 years old, and he's still just absolutely showing that he is just a movable object up front, and he gets to do what he wants. And they moved him to D tackle. He used to be a DN. No matter where you put him on the line, this guy is going to generate pressure and get the job done.
Yeah, I really like watching Stephen Wilcox as well, play, calling those games, man. This is like, I know when we say game manager, we refer to quarterbacks, but this guy really manages quarterbacks, man. Like, seriously, like he just is just really just all over the place. He's so powerful. I can't count how many times I've seen him in double team situations, just like powering through guys for tackles, pushing blockers into running backs, getting off, around the edges, stopping the run. I mean, guy is just simply amazing, man. This is just another player that I really enjoyed watching. And I just know every time I see 96, man, I don't even have to look at the roster. Like, I just know that's Stephen Wilcox right there, man. So hats off to the Crusaders again, man. I see you, Bocce Galupi.
You botch.
I really can't add much more to that, man. Like, you guys summed it up. Like, he's just like the one really big bright spot they have on defense. I know they have some few more players, but they're not the same without Wilcox.
Yeah, it's pretty much on that defense is made up of Wilcox and Cole Bacon, and those have been the original D linemen there since the expansion, since this team came into the league, and they're still balling.
And they got, what's the other dude named? Forbes?
Yeah, DeJuan Forbes.
And there's another dude on there, Northrop as well, man. He's got, the Crusaders. I'm not to be too long-winded, but the Crusaders have some guys on defense, man. I've been looking at that, man. They've got some guys. They got their little tweaking, a little tune-up, man. But they got
this
guys,
year, though.
Man.
I have to agree. They improved a lot this year. I thought their defense was going to be absolute trash like they were last season, but that was not the case. A lot of guys just developed and stepped up. Wilcox has been taking it, been stepping up every week, every season. So, that's nothing new with him. Congratulations to him on that award. And now we move on to Best Linebacker of the NRC. And that award goes to the Tigers linebacker, Antoine Muldrow. This guy is an aging beast. We've been talking about this guy possibly fizzling out maybe for the last 2 years, and it doesn't seem like that's going to happen because this guy just still is killing it at that linebacker position.
Yeah, I just got one question for you, man. Is this guy on the legacy list?
Yes, he is.
Okay, what's his contract year?
Not exactly sure.
I wanted to bring him over to the other side of Chicago, man, and ball before he retires, man. I really like this guy, Mojo, man. Awesome player, great award right here.
Yeah, he's the one of the key pieces to this Tigers defense, and I've been saying it all year long. They are a very stingy defense, given the fact that their record isn't the best. A lot of that has to do with their offense. The defense is definitely not what you can blame in this. And Muldrow has been there since I've joined the league. Yeah, he's just a
and even to say like we were just saying about the defense and him being a star. I think he is the anchor. He is this defense. Like without Muldrow, this team's got problems. Muldrow just commands the entire defense. Like when he's on the field, that team is almost as if when their defense is on the field, they can stop anybody, and they better not go anywhere towards his way. And so, like, that's how I feel like they got talent on the defensive side of the ball, but this is definitely Antoine Muldrow's defense, and he showed that this season as well. Moving on to the Best Defensive Back of the Year award for the NRC, it goes to, of course, the interceptions leader, Zach Walters. 9 interceptions this season. Guy just came onto the scene first year in the RFL, breaking records with 9 picks. I mean, there's nothing really too much else to say about this guy except for him just being an absolute beast out of the gate. Tough guy that you do not want to try often.
Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't let that speed fool you. And so we now get on to the main NRC awards for the rookies. So for Offensive Rookie of the Year for the NRC goes to Roy Kincaid.
Oh,
man,
Roy.
wide receiver from Tennessee. If anybody was a part of the first RFL College Series, you just love seeing this kid play. First year in the league, sets the tone, makes a statement. Rookie of the Year. What do you guys got to say about Roy Kincaid, man? I'm excited that he won this.
Love it. Love Roy, man. Roy knows he called those college games. Salute, man. That's an awesome award right there for that guy.
I remember when he was drafted, and we were sitting here live on YouTube, sitting there like, man, this is going to be a huge pickup for the Elks, man, because this guy is so underrated. He's so good he was so good in the college series. Great choice here for Rookie of the Year. He definitely deserves it.
Phenomenal season, man. It just fell short of 800 yards, literally by a yard too. He had 799 in the season, but he did lead the team in receiving touchdowns with 7. So well deserving an award, man. An absolute phenomenal season. Can't wait to see what the future brings for him. And moving on for Defensive Rookie of the Year of the NRC. This award goes to, and he'll be receiving his second. Oh, no, I thought it was Roland Carter. It's Timothy Statton. Wow. Timothy Statton wins this. He had, 12?
Yeah.
How many sacks did he have? 12 sacks? I don't know why I don't have the statistics up here. I got the wrong. I had Roland Carter's stuff up on accident. But it was Timothy Statton who wins this, so shout out to him. This guy was an absolute beast.
Wow.
Waiting for this thing to load.
And Roland,
shout out to Coach Forbes, man.
and Roland Carter did win it, but he was on the ARC, so I don't even know what I was talking about. You said 13? 13 sacks for Timothy Statton. Wisconsin boy here, Bill.
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Hey, I the same with Kincaid, man. When we were in here talking about the draft picks, as soon as he was picked, I'm like, man, that's a good pickup right there for the Diablos. I think he was gonna fit in well to this defense, and he came in and he definitely didn't play like a rookie. So it's definitely worthy of him of getting this award for sure.
Yeah, phenomenal season, man. 13 sacks, and he was injured and everything, but he will be back for the playoffs. So first year just going to the playoffs, it's a phenomenal year, man. Phenomenal year for him. And moving on to the Offensive Player of the Year award for the NRC. The award goes to Tavion Hall, taking home another award here. Offensive Player of the Year. That's 2 awards straight for him. I think we already talked enough about him, but I mean, Offensive Player of the Year, guys. What do you guys think about him winning that specific award?
Salute to Tavion, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I said my piece the last time when we talked about this guy. He's just a special player, man.
Yeah, and who did he beat out to get this once again? Like, he literally, the last game on the Sim Auto win, he beat him out to get it. Was Madison Axel. Yeah. So he beats out Madison Axel again. He had him. He had the running back award and this award to straight snatched it away from him. I think he had over 200 yards of total offense and 3 total touchdowns to get that award in the auto win. So Tavion Hall killing it in the games we see, in the games we don't. Absolutely phenomenal. And moving on, Defensive Player of the Year for the NRC. We have Antoine Muldrow, linebacker for the Tigers, taking home 2 awards. The veteran still getting it done here in the RFL.
Beast.
There.
Yeah. Tackling machine. I don't think, not too much to say here. Just trying to get this thing caught up. But shout out to Muldrow for that. And now we cap it off with the NRC MVP of the, I already said NRC. The NRC MVP, and that goes to Tavion Hall. Once again, Tavion Hall takes home a 3rd award.
Beast.
That's all you can say, man.
Beast.
And not only that, Tavion Hall becomes the first running back in RFL history to ever take home an MVP award. And just his 2nd season. That's amazing. And that's all I got to say about that. And now it's time for the final award. And this is the RFL League MVP award. We already know who it's between. It's between Tavion Hall or Geno Gannon. Geno Gannon, over 3,400 passing yards this season, 24 passing touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, 993 rushing yards, 7 short of 1,000, and 10 rushing touchdowns, a total of 35 touchdowns this year. Then we got Tavion Hall, wins MVP, the first running back in RFL history, as I mentioned, to do so. And second in rushing yards, topping his numbers from last season. He had 15 touchdowns for over 1,700 yards in his first season in the RFL last year. He has over 800 this year and 17 touchdowns on the ground, including a receiving touchdown as well, with a total of 18. And with this, the league MVP of the RFL is Geno Gannon.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Geno Gannon wins the league MVP of the RFL, breaking history once again. Geno Gannon becomes the first RFL rookie not only to win the conference MVP, but the league MVP. And he will always have that record. That is crazy, man. Thoughts on that?
Wow. Go ahead, Bill, man. Wow.
Like I said before, this guy is special. He came in and completely changed the way that this offense is played. He changed the way teams have to play this team, and he added that extra swag to this offense that I think that Rob was looking for. And he's been everything that you asked for. There's some things that will have to get cleaned up, but I mean, just imagine how crazy and unrealistic this guy's numbers would have been without some of his rookie trip ups. Like, that's just crazy to me that he still put up that kind of numbers, even though he did have times where he was a rookie, and it's completely deserving, I think. We talked about this before. We had that debate between him and a quarterback, and I'm like, look, you can't take the MVP for what position they play. It's just the overall play of the player, and this guy fits the bill in every category.
Yeah, man. I talked to Smitty and Bill and Mitch and all you guys. I'm not really old, guys. I just say I'm old. It's just a cop out to make people feel bad for me. I'm not really old. At least I'm not old at heart. I'm very, very young. But one thing that I don't dive into in this game is XP and all that stuff and the abilities and stuff. I'm still kind of old school in that regard. I just like players on player raw skills. I'm really starting to appreciate over time as the guys have been breaking stuff down to me, because I don't always understand it, right? You guys know I be lost in conversations, but when these guys told me, man, that this guy is like, he's already obtained 40,000 XP that he's supposed to get this.
Yeah,
I
for
guess
these awards. Yep. I
these
think it's a
awards
certain
here.
time. Wow, is it the conference championship? I'm not sure. I know.
Super Bowl week,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Super Bowl week or something like that. He's going to get that,
Something
and
like
on
that.
top of that, he's going to have more than that if he actually gets to the Reload Bowl week. And I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just out of my mind right now because he's already like an 86 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just really shocked, man. And it was hard at the beginning of this. Like, it was really, really hard because he's taking all these sacks and I'm not knowing what I'm doing. And you guys saw me, I'm out hiring people. Like, maybe I need to get some youngsters around me, and it's just crazy. It's madness to even see this. And I'm not even going to sit here and act like I thought that Geno Gannon won all these awards, guys. That's not the kind of person I am. If you talk to me and ask me, who I would think have won the MVP, there's a couple of guys I have in mind. Like, the guy over there in Columbus, he's had a remarkable season at 14-2, and he's played very, very well, but he kind of made some mistakes toward the end. And I knew with the mistakes that, Washington had been making, that he probably wouldn't have gotten this award, but like, I had other people in mind, man, for these awards, and I didn't really think Geno was going to get these. But then, like, the guy started telling me, like, Rob, like, hey, man, this guy's got a 74 passing completion. You know what I'm saying? He's like almost to 1,000 yards, Rob. He can break Jabri Jackson's rushing record, Rob. Like, he's pretty accurate, Rob. Rob, he's winning ball games. He's throwing touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are gonna go to the playoffs, Rob. And I thought it was gonna be over for us. I thought, like, we were gonna, be like 8-8 or something. And I just kept with him, man. I kept with him, and I kept, with the scheming, and I changed some things with the scheming, and kept what I had going, and I threw out the old stuff because it just wasn't working, right? And man, it clicked, right? And I'm just shocked, man. I'm so shocked at all this, guys, like, literally, man. So hats off to the community. I do not take anything for granted, and I respect all the guys who are on that list, man. And It is what it is. I'm not mad at. I don't have the algorithm for why they do things. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's what's up, man. I'm done.
Man, just to give out some more just freakishly crazy statistics about this guy. Rookie season, he leads all quarterbacks, as Rob was saying, in completion percentage. So the most accurate quarterback in his first year in the RFL. And we know maybe he didn't throw as many passes and everything like that because he was a dual threat. And, you know, if he was in the pocket, that would have probably been different. But that doesn't matter due to the fact that he killed it also on the ground. It's just the things he was able to bring. He lived all the way up to expectations as we expected. And we knew there were going to be some bumps along the road like you were talking about. I mean, the highest quarterback percentage, though. And I think he's also the first RFL player to take home 4 awards.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just so crazy how Geno Gannon, I even think back to how this storyline even came about when he first started with LSU, picking up from the storyline, you know, with the I don't think it was long shot at that time. What did they call that?
Face of the franchise or
Face of
the
the
franchise?
face of the
Yeah.
franchise. With face of the franchise, Geno Gannon came in, and then, you know, I've just said this is a community player. This is a community made player. This is not a singular person. This is what the community made. You guys made Geno Gannon, and he just took on a form of his own, and he had to become the player he is today. And he proved that and became that player from the college series, was still able to take them to the postseason and everything. And then just to see that storyline between he and Marquise Washington and him prevail and the back and forth between those two. I mean, this storyline of Geno Gannon has been nothing short of amazing. Well deserving of the award. And with that, that is all we got for this 3-hour-long podcast. I appreciate you guys coming through. As always, let's give a little cheer for everybody here being here for this one. We still sustained over 40 or more people. So, like, I mean, that's great there towards the end.
Cougar commercial? Check them out.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna post that in here?
Well, it's on you. I don't know if you have time to even play it.
No.
Or,
Are you talking about? Oh yeah. So you're just
IG.
you're telling me
Yeah.
you're putting it on IG. You're saying
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were saying to throw it in there. Okay, cool. Yeah. So check out this video. I seen it, man. Rob once again being creative, man. Got a thing he about to drop here on Geno Gannon. Go ahead, check out the Cougars page, man. You know he got some great content on there. Geno Gannon, league MVP. And tomorrow, oh, wrong thing. And tomorrow, there you go. The playoffs officially start in the RFL. Let me know in the chat right now so we don't got nobody frauding when it happens. Who do you think at this moment is going to be the season 6 champ of the RFL? Put that in the chat before you leave. And with that being said, it's your boy Smitty, RFL Commissioner, play-by-play commentator, along with Rob. And it's playoff time, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. All games, dual commentary. Me and your boy Rob in the booth. Get ready. We're out of here. Peace.